I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Start learning a language today at Babbel.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
Hey, Ralph, got another solar question for you.
Okay, but did you check out the Harman Solar podcast first?
The what?
The Harman Solar podcast. We put new episodes up twice a month that teach you all the things you ever wanted to learn about solar. We discuss things like how solar works, the roofing, sales process, demand management, everything solar.
Show like this needs some real smart thinkers, huh?
Well, yeah.
So you got some really great guests then, huh?
Almost every show.
Is it on Spotify?
Yep.
iTunes?
Yep. Just search it everywhere. It's the Harman Solar podcast. Go check it out at harmansolar.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
USN10P, also transmitting on K25CDV at
99.3 FM.
and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Thursday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. Okay, let me take you down the road here. Daytona 500 delay, birthday, then recovery, now spring training. So I don't know, maybe Randy will be here with us tomorrow. But today we got Ralph from Harman Solar. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. By the way, Ralph, you're always going to be Ralph from Harman Solar. You know that, right? I'm not going to call you Ralph from the Weekend Warriors.
Even if I leave Harman Solar?
If you do that, then we can have a conversation about it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but the people on the text line, we don't let them change their text names unless there's a really, really good reason for it.
I mean, people are allowed to change their gender. Why can't you change your name, too?
You're more than welcome to change your gender, but I'm still going to call you Ralph from Harman Solar until, I don't know, until there's a really good reason to change.
I'll give you one in a little bit.
If you change your name to something else with your gender change, then you'd still be blank from Harman Solar. So, and also, or I'll just call you something really horrific. Just because.
I can't imagine that. You would never do that.
Just because. Anyway, so here we are. Spring training has started. And those Dodgers are putting a dominant beat down on the San Diego. I thought this was spring training Padres. 10-1.
The Dodgers showed up to play a game, and the Padres were like, "We weren't stretching."
If I'm a guy on the Padres, I'm one of the coaches. I'm just going, good for you.
No,
good job. Good for you.
You saw one of your best pitchers come out and just look horrendous.
Oof. So it's spring training.
He'll go back to his orange slices in the dugout. He'll be all right.
Doesn't matter. This stuff matters later. Right now,
it doesn't matter at all.
The Dodgers are playing like it does, though, man. You know that. They're playing it like it does. They have just turned into the MLB Ravens. They're playing that preseason like we got to win every one.
I mean, if you get to your title, your divisional title, though, you can do that.
The Dodgers got swept last year.
What you don't want to do is
the Diamondbacks
be that one time the Washington football team won all 4 games in their preseason and then had a 3-win season. That's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
don't do that.
I'll tell you what, though, if this is the different thing that the Dodgers do to try to get over we get close but not quite hump, well then, good luck, Ralph.
It's just their farm guys that are hitting right now. They're 12-1 right now, by the way. It's just,
oh my God.
It has nothing and Padres are just that bad. Their pitching is terrible.
What inning is it? I can't see from here.
The 6th.
Just call the damn thing. Just stop the. I mean, really, it's not about the score. It's all about the managers and the coaches being able to look at how these players are doing to instruct. This is practice. It's just practice. They forgot to tell the Dodgers this, but everybody else knows it's just practice.
They're so good. This is their practice.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying.
888-368-1580. Henry from Jamaica says, fellas, always good to hear. Jeffrey, you know why Ralph is an LA fan? Because push comes to shove, he's always been a Dodger. Like Tommy Lasordago.
You mean Lasorda?
I don't know what that, but I don't know what the joke was there, but okay.
The joke's bad. I always was a Dodger. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah, you're a bandwagoner.
No.
You are.
I am a true blue Dodger fan.
Yeah.
Have been my whole life.
We have evidence.
No,
Wilbur says, California oranges, Arizona cactus. We played the Dodgers just for practice. Was that supposed to be a rhyme or?
It's actually pretty good.
It was almost like a poem or something here. All right. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday. Yesterday, shame on all of you. We didn't get a damn thing done. When I say get a thing done, understand that somewhere along the way, Radio Ron always will come up to me, put his arm around my shoulder and say, we're a sports station, right? And I'm like, well, I sure try. And we sure tried to talk more sports yesterday than not, and not is what won. So today, we're going to talk a lot more sports. I got all sorts of stuff to talk about. I had all sorts of stuff to talk about yesterday, to be honest. But
can we bet on that?
I'm not going to let you guys do this again.
You can't bet on it because there's direct influence involved. And exactly. If the fourth dimension, their job is not necessarily to steer this show in every other direction. They just do it very well.
And I'm just going to say, I know how to trigger them, so it's not hard.
You can try. I'm just not going to read their texts if they do that.
Shut them out.
I'll not a shutout, but kind of a brownout. A little bit, just maybe not every single silly damn thing they say. So, but before we get started, today is National Chili Day and National Margarita Day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I choose Chili Day. I'd rather have it be Chili Day than Margarita Day. Margaritas seem like a gal drink. You know what I mean?
I choose them both, but I will once again repeat, I have no standards. And if it has alcohol in it, I'll probably drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of dudes like the margaritas too, but I always kind of feel like it's a gal drink. But whatever. I'm not going to give you a hard time about it. 76% of Americans love them some margaritas.
That's a higher number than I would have thought.
Third most ordered cocktail worldwide. You know why? It's because you drink it. You don't really, the alcohol, unless it's really well made, doesn't really hit you too hard. It's just kind of like it's like a homemade wine cooler or something. I don't know. But, so I guess the top 5 drinks are gin and tonic, which I don't care for gin. A mojito, margarita, then the Bloody Mary, then the whiskey and Coke. I'll take that. Hold the Coke. Just give me the whiskey. I just feel like that should be all of our response. And somebody says, hey, would you like a whiskey and Coke? Yes, hold the Coke. Would you like a whiskey on the rocks? Hold the rocks. I'll have the whiskey. Just give me the damn whiskey. Just the same thing with the drinking games. You want to play a drinking game? No, just give me the damn drink. Now, if I have to play the game to get the drink, no, I guess I'll have to play the game. But if the game is to not have to be the one who drinks, I'm either going to say no or I'm going to lose on purpose.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite whiskey? I'm just curious.
Favorite whiskey?
Yeah.
Free whiskey.
Well, besides being free.
The specific brand.
You know what? I really kind of got onto the rye. The that stuff that was done from Al Capone's recipe. I can't remember the name of it right now, but yeah, that is just about empty in my cabinet. Some other stuff in there is pretty nice too that some of the listeners have given me along the way. But what was it called? God dang it! Now it's left in my brain. But that rye whiskey that was Al Capone's recipe. That's kind of a go-to favorite for me. You know, but all of them have their own little nuance, I guess. It's not like wine. You know, you're like, yes, I can tell that the guy who picked the grapes had asparagus for dinner. How do you know? You know why I know. Anyway, so it's Margarita Day and National Chili Day. I'd rather observe Chili Day. See, this is the wrong time of year for chili, though, isn't it? It should have been like in November or something, where it's cold out.
For us, it's the wrong time of year.
No, that's a good point.
Because I know in the Costco it's seasonal, so they'll put the chili out in that deli area, but that comes out like October.
Yeah, you're right. So you like chili, Ralph?
I do.
You like it in a bowl?
In a bowl?
Yeah.
Oh,
chili in a bowl. Do you want it on the hot dog? Do you want it? I
like it on fries. I like it on.
Oh yeah.
I had something visiting in New Mexico that I'd never had before called a Frito pot.
That's big in Texas.
Frito chili pie, and I was just like, I've never had this before. It's like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
I can't drive home for a while because I need the bathroom. Because it's gonna happen here. Templeton, thank you, Moist One. You are correct. Templeton, right? So yeah, people like it on fries. Would you ever eat it on rice?
Yeah,
chili, sure.
I've had roast beef with rice when I didn't have mashed potatoes, and I was like, this is surprisingly good on the white rice. Baked potato. You ever put chili on a baked potato?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never done. I've missed a lot in the world of chili.
That one's good.
On garlic bread.
Yeah.
Not with garlic bread, on garlic bread.
I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you poured it on the garlic bread.
I mean, I like chili though. So like
this guy likes chili.
Just, you put chili and most foods together, I'll be all right. Yeah.
How about them freaks in Cincinnati that put it on spaghetti? You ever put? Yeah.
Strange, but I've done it.
And
I liked it. Yeah. Granted, I put chili I made on spaghetti as opposed to that horrible Skyline chili that those people eat in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's barely food.
Okay, if that's fair. How about with macaroni and cheese? Well, that's like hamburger helper though. I don't know. So I'm going to observe National Chili Day. You guys just do whatever the hell you want. What is a chili ring, Moist One? He says, what about chili rings? Is that just chili on onion rings?
I have no idea. I've never heard of that.
Is.
I guess
it's Moist One, so it could be a delicious food or something you should never Google. I cannot tell.
I might have stumbled into that one.
I'm deeply concerned, but I don't recognize that one, and I am scared.
I know that people on this show are more likely to observe the day that involves the alcohol. And did you guys know there's 546 words for drunk?
No.
I was looking up. I wanted to go on a ramble and like say a bunch of words for drunk, you know, and then I thought, I'm gonna look it up. 546. Like, you know, we know the classics like hammered, wasted, tipsy, trashed, smashed, loaded. Then if you want to get formal, inebriated,
intoxicated.
Then they got something called wasted. That's a fun one.
Oh yeah.
And you know, borracho if you want to get international. But I guess there's 546 words. Here's some new ones: bladdered, mullered, pickled. Oh, I've heard that one.
I've never heard that one.
Cabbaged, sozzled, fuddled, pelluthrid, corned, skunked, squiffed, or is it squeefed? Stonkered, trousered, beery, belickered, bingoed, jeremied, pifflicated, schnookered. That one I do know. We've been saying I got schnookered the other night for years. Slap happy, crapulous. Those are all mean drunk.
Huh.
And I'm not going to do If you want the other 526, you can go to a website called The Drinks Business. They have all 546. And I think that on this show and on this text line, I'd like to see some more clever usage of drunk in different words.
Yeah.
But if you're using one, you have to put like an asterisk next to it. So I know that's another word for drunk.
Yeah, because some of them get so obscure. I mean, you said a few of them that I've never heard before. Right. That, yeah, just so you can know.
Ralph just took a drink from a giant margarita thermos. Holy cow. Heavy Metal Maniac says, put your chili on some Frito chips with cheese and onions and go for it. Well, yeah, that's like chili pie right there.
Frito pie.
A Frito pie, yeah. Moist One says, hold on here. Oh, yeah, don't go for a restaurant and ask for chili rings. Mr. Wilbur says, the only way to drink a margarita is to avoid all that junk margarita mix that's in there. You either drink a margarita with great tequila, not even just good tequila, but great tequila, then you have a real margarita. You probably could have shrank that down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
And just said, just make sure you're using good tequila.
So when I make a margarita, it's a good tequila, it's a Grand Marnier, it's lime juice that's fresh, and agave, and it's delicious. It's really good.
I don't know what any of those words mean. No, I'm just kidding. Lacrosse guy says buttered. He likes the term. I got buttered. Walter Mellon says, "Hey, Keon.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Keon. When you drink margaritas, how often do you drink margaritas?"
Yeah, usually when I go with my girlfriend, and then we order margaritas.
Do you get all Jeffrey'd? And he put I don't think that's a term for drunkenness.
I don't think so either. Why?
I don't look it up because I'm sure I'm not going to like it, what it means. Just another face in the crowd says NPR did a piece on the professor who did a very funny lecture on the multitude of words for drunk. What in the hell are you listening to NPR for? Just another face in the crowd. How do you go from NPR and then listen to this? How do those two things reconcile in your cranium?
Because it's drunk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ralph. Fighting Wampa says, I remember growing up as a kid, the word my parents used for getting drunk was plastered. Oh, yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah.
I've heard that one. Dodgers are beating the Padres, says Big George. Thank you for just now joining the show.
Thanks for catching up. It's 14-1 now.
I think they've beat them this bad so they don't have to play them again. Like, we're done here. There's no need. It's just kind of silly. Hey, let's talk about the games that are going to happen tonight. We have 3 games in the world of basketball that are going to happen tonight. First one, GCU is going to be in action against Tarleton State Texans. That happens at 5:45 p.m. So we'll be stepping aside for Michael Potter and the Lopes at 5:45. So that game is coming up. Spoiler alert, Grand Canyon University is favored. I know that's going to be a shock.
I'm stunned.
But they actually got 4.5 point on the spread, and it's plus 175 on the money line if you wanted to take Tarleton State. I don't know if you remember this, Ralph. Remember I talked about how you might find the GCU guys like stuck in an elevator, and that would give the other team a chance. It actually happened the next day to a different team. I don't know if you had heard about that. So
I did.
I've got to start making more predictions about how I won the lottery or something. But Tarleton, by the way, Tarleton State is not a state. It's Texas is where they're from. And that's where the GCU is going. But Tarleton, not very good. So it's not as bad as that last team with that giant spread. What was 19.5?
Yeah.
Not as bad, but still, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about this.
I'm not going to worry too much, but Tarleton is 18-7. They're not bad. And the game is being played there, which whenever they play the Texas schools, I don't know what it is, but those officials do not call fouls. Like, they just don't. And I think that getting used to the physicality, you play, in some other parts of the Western Athletic Conference, and then you go out to Texas to play, it's a bar fight.
As long as they are fair in both directions, then that's something you've got to have to adjust for.
They genuinely are, I think. But the officials are usually pretty solid. But if you're not used to playing that way, and those other schools playing in that state are, there's an adjustment period for you that doesn't happen for them.
Okay, so now not too worried about GCU, and of course we'll all tune in coming up at 5:45.
Though I should point out the last time GCU played Tarleton State, they beat them to death, 74-48.
Well, could you just pick a lane for me? Because like I'm saying it's going to be easy, and you're like, it's not going to be easy, and then I'm like,
because it's not.
Now I'm like, it's not going to be easy. And you're like, last time they
I just wanted to look up and see what they did last time, and then I was like, that's real bad. But they're not a bad team.
You're a conversational drunk driver right now. You are in both lanes.
I will still say they should hang on for this one. This is going to be a tougher game.
So now after all this conversation, I feel like we'd better watch. We'd better listen because something hinky's about to happen here. And also tonight you got ASU hosting Washington, and this is going to be a little different. Why? Because ASU kind of stinks. That's just the fact. That's just the way it is. We're hoping the best. We want them to win, but yeah, you know who they are right now, which is why the surprise is, Keon. Why are they only the Washington team? Why are they only 2.5-point favorites on this?
Because they're not that much better.
Oh, so it should be a good game.
Yeah. They're better, but it's not by a whole lot.
So it's going to be a fight. My Jeffrey O'Brien rules of engagement. If both teams are kind of stinky, going to be a good game.
I think
it'll be exciting
if your rules apply here, because in their record in the last 5 games that they've played, it's the same record. They've both won 2 out of their last 5. Washington's a couple of games above 500. ASU is exactly at 500. It's a pretty close matchup.
I wonder how many poor bastards listening to this show have AT&T, and they're like, I can't do anything with my phone.
It's fixed now.
Did they fix it? Oh, okay.
Because
I got the T-Mobile. I used to have the Verizon, but now I thought, I don't really need to make phone calls. So I got the T-Mobile, and what do you got? You have Verizon or T-Mobile?
Verizon.
Yeah, grown-ups have Verizon. Teenagers have T-Mobile, And so I thought, wait, I'd like to save money like a teenager. And that was a mistake.
Huge mistake.
It's great if I never leave my house. But if I go anywhere, I just sit there the whole time on trying to call my wife. It's like, we're going back to Verizon when I get home. What? You say we're going back to Verizon when I get home. I can't. Then when I get home, I forget. So when we come back, what do you say? We talk about the Phoenix Suns. They are at the Dallas Mavericks tonight at actually 5:30 p.m. this afternoon on TNT. Well, that's good. That's fun. Because I kind of hope that Kevin Durant gets to sit down with Charles Barkley at some point tonight and have a conversation about the crap Charles said and the crap that Kevin said. We're going to discuss that when we come back, and also take a look at kind of a evenly matched game, and also kind of a rivalry. I think tonight's going to be fun. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NBA, the Suns are in Dallas tonight to kick off the second half of the season facing the Mavericks. Dallas has won 5 straight games. Phoenix, a 1.5 underdog tonight, plus 102 on the money line. Dallas minus 120 with an over-under of 246. The Suns are plus 1,400 to win this year's NBA championship. Other games tonight, the Lakers are in San Francisco to take on Golden State, a matchup of the 9th and 10th place team in the West. Golden State favored by 6 tonight, minus 230, while the Lakers are plus 194, over under 242. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Looks like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
It's a daily blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. 82 damn degrees in this studio right now.
Yikes.
The air conditioning is broken. And it's 72 degrees outside. So, yeah. About the time the show ends, the sun will set and it'll finally start to cool off, but whatever. But hey, Ralph, when you come in here tomorrow morning, well, it should be all right too. Shouldn't be too hot, but it's 82 degrees in the studio right now.
I don't come in tomorrow morning. So
sun's on our side of the building too.
Oh, it's Friday. That's right. I felt like today is a Friday.
Yeah, I think I've just been confused about what day it was.
Well, after yesterday's show, it felt like today should be Saturday.
That's true.
How weird that was. Fish Tank says, for drunk, I like ham bone.
I don't think I've ever heard that one.
I like it, but it sounds like you just bleeped
sound
a
like
pig.
Drunk. That doesn't sound like drunk. Yeah.
You just got bleeped by a pig. I got ham boned. Never saw it coming. Swazman says, how about tied one on? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I've used that. And blitzed. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. He says, hey, sports topic. Do you think GCU is better than ASU? Yes. But I'll let Keon answer that.
Yes.
Or I'll let Ralph answer that.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Because GCU has played at least one top 25 team this year and won. And ASU is not on that level. So
yeah, no matter how you slice it, GCU has won 24 games. They've lost 2. Best college record in college right now. I'm not just saying in the WAC. In college, they have the best record. I know the strength of schedule. I get you on that.
Okay.
But you still have to allow for the fact they've only lost twice. ASU is 13 wins, 13 losses. They are 7-8 in conference. So
I'm just saying, from what I have watched this year, if GCU laced them up today and ASU laced them up today and they played each other, I'm taking GCU.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely right. Moist One says, betting on GCU. Okay. He says, if they lose, I'm going to get squeefed. Okay, hold on. That's not a wait. Did I say that?
It was either squiffed or.
Yeah, he didn't put an asterisk by it. Yeah, I'm not reading yours, Moist One, so just in case.
Moist One's going to sneak some words in there.
Yeah, I feel like I just said something. The nice thing about it is if he gets me with something, and then nobody else knows what it means, then, but I'm still going to be careful with that. Dog Pound says, what about U Arizona versus WSU? Who cares? He says, what about that comic book store guy? That's what I'm thinking you look like. Me?
What?
Do I sound like the comic book store guy who's like, okay, worst game ever?
You don't look or sound like a comic store guy.
No, I don't. None of us has a.
I don't get that one.
I wouldn't mind working in a comic book store. I wouldn't mind that, but I think you have to have the same kind of snark that a record store guy used to have, or a Blockbuster video guy who would sit there and judge you for whatever you purchased.
Yeah, look,
They so did, too.
Absolutely. Some of the worst people. You know what happened when those all closed down? You know where they work now. Go ahead and say it, Ralph. Starbucks. That's where they all went to work. Then they all judge you in your coffee order. You say, hey, I'd like a large coffee. I mean, venti? I mean, give me a coffee or I'm going to strangle you.
What is the biggest cup you have? That one, okay?
They're very snooty about that.
Yeah, but
I don't go to Starbucks. I don't know.
Well, you're poor, so
I don't pay $6 for a cup of coffee.
Comic book store guys.
I don't even drink coffee.
Is
I just
exactly like that. Though.
Use that as an example.
Comic book guys are like that?
Judging you? Yeah.
They judge you because of the comic that you get?
Yeah, if you pick up something that's
like the Virgin calling the Virgin kettle Virgin.
Too mainstream, or if they're a Marvel guy and you walk up to that counter with some DC comics, like, yeah, no, you're
so it's like the Tower. It's like the Tower Records guy.
Yes.
That guy was a jerk.
Tower Records, Sam Goody, Blockbuster, any video store, there was always that guy. And that's what I'm talking about. How did we get on this?
Haven't you tried reading Moon Knight? I mean, it's just
Dog Pound. That wasn't very nice, Dog Pound. I don't sound like that fat bastard in the Simpsons.
Wow.
Fighting Wampa says, I'd be willing to bet Kermit the Frog has been ham-boned once or twice in his life. That's the great thing about okay, I'm just going to stop. There was a joke.
I was wondering where we were going.
Well, I'm just saying. I know that Kermit is a Gentile because we know he eats pork. Anyway, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns tonight. I think
you can't just transition to the Phoenix Suns after talking about that.
Well, sure I can. Watch, I just did it.
Keon's going to have to get himself together.
So their records are just about identical. And this is a rivalry. This is a game. And I don't know. I think it's a rivalry more for the fans than it is for the players. I know that Luka and Booker don't like each other, but I don't know if this is. Would you call this a rivalry? Just because two guys don't like each other?
It's more that they just keep meeting in the postseason, and the more that they do that, the fan bases are going to take it personally. And it helps when you have two guys on the floor that actually don't like each other. They're not going to be hugging after the game or anything like that. It's I don't want to say personal, but Devin Booker wants to beat Luka and Luka wants to beat Devin.
I think Phoenix fans look at it as a rivalry. I think Dallas fans look at it as a win. So
you really mean the times we've always been able to take them out of the playoffs?
You never beat them. No,
What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. What are you talking about? Yeah, and then like it's not like the Mavs have gone far. Like if the Mavs,
neither team has.
So then it's a rivalry. Like it can't be. It's just a game for the Mavs. You mean that finals that the Mavs have been to recently? Where's that happening?
Leon, don't be the sheep to his herd dog. Don't do it.
A rivalry is like Lakers, Boston. Knicks, 76ers. Those are rivalries. This isn't a rivalry.
This is a rivalry. It's not on that level, but if they keep playing each other throughout the years and there's just bad blood built up, that's how rivalries.
I don't want to agree with Ralph, but this is not like a team rivalry. It's Luka and Booker do not like each other. And we have been able to get the best of the Mavericks quite a bit when it counts for sure.
To be fair, though, they're the only two constants on the team.
It's a good point.
Who else is there to hate each other? KD hasn't been here long enough.
Who else is even on the Mavericks? Name another Mavericks player, Ralph.
I couldn't. I'm not a Mavericks fan. I have no idea.
Nobody's a Mavericks
fan. I
fan.
Think Dirk's there. I have no idea.
That's the other thing. Nobody's a Mavericks fan. Yeah, Luka.
Don't we have Mavericks fans that listen to this show?
Mavericks will win or lose plus minus a Luka. I mean, that's it. He's all they've got. Now, he is an amazing player. Wish we had him. I'll be honest. I mean, still very punchable face, but I wish we had him. But here we are now. We don't have him. We also don't know if we have Bradley Beal tonight. But what's the story on that? That was a game time decision.
It actually wasn't. They decided like yesterday he was going to play in the game. Yeah.
Well, I printed this up this morning. Oh. That'll teach me for getting my information from the ESPN.
Well, every time.
The ESPN has him as game time decision.
I saw yesterday on Sports Illustrated that he was going to play. So
Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. They don't exist anymore. You're getting your news from bots now.
From bots.
AI.
Well, I mean, the website still exists, so I don't know. But yeah, from what I was reading, Bradley Beal's going to play.
So the deal with AT&T, was it only phone calls or was it everything?
I heard it was everything, internet and phone.
Gonna say most people probably didn't notice. They're probably like, I had a nice day. I didn't get a whole lot of texts, get a whole lot of calls. It was pretty good. It was nice. Actually, Wesley, who works here, producer Wesley, the original producer of this show, by the way, 1.5 million years ago. He's like, he said, he hates me right now. Let me tell you what. He sends this email and says, hey guys, the AT&T outage, I'm not gonna be able to get any phone calls, so I'm not gonna be able to communicate. I'm thinking he's thinking he was gonna go watch some spring training or something and have a few drinks. And I sent him a thing saying, oh really? You don't have Wi-Fi calling on your thing? If you're there working at home, you could get it on the Wi-Fi and you still make phone calls. You said the thing. Oh, right. Okay. No, it's a miracle.
Oh no.
Wow.
Ruined all of his day plans.
I do think the internet was down too, though.
Oh,
Oh,
not his home internet, the internet through AT&T. Yeah. So, well, whatever the case, he was like, oh, he got me. Yeah. So then he didn't get his day off, which made me feel good. Damn. Heavy Metal Maniac says the Phoenix Suns and our fan base hate the entire organization known as the Lakers. They're a number one rivalry because, well, they're in the same damn division. Wish they could move them out of the division to another one that's already been better than them Lakers lately.
First of all, divisions
sure what
don't
you're saying there.
Divisions
Yeah.
don't matter in the NBA anymore.
Like you divisions, like you play
they
more
could get rid of
games
them.
during the regular season, but winning your division doesn't get you a playoff spot in the NBA.
And it might be a
So-
rivalry for Phoenix fans. It's
There
not a
we
rivalry
go.
It's just not. Lakers don't look as Phoenix as a rivalry.
I
They
had
just
a
don't.
Laker fan threaten to stab me once because I was.
That wasn't because you're a Phoenix fan. That's just because of who you are.
Well, I was heckling Kobe Bryant, going, "No,
Well, yeah,
no means no, Kobe."
Yeah,
was
then you should get stabbed. I mean, I
Really?
get that. Yeah, absolutely.
Did he not rape a girl in a Colorado hotel room?
I have no comment. And I don't talk about it.
Exactly.
Oh boy,
That was a fun. That was a fun game. That was a fun game. I believed her too. She was like 18 rows down from where I was sitting, and I thought she was going to like come up there come at me like an alien.
I mean, Laker fans look at Boston as a rivalry, and they even somewhat look at San Antonio as a rivalry. Not anymore, though.
not any time lately. Yeah.
But they don't look at Phoenix. They just don't.
I don't care what they look at. We hate your ass.
Well, of course you hate greatness. I get it. You should hate greatness.
There's just no point to this conversation. I don't know how we find ourselves in it. Beer Nut says, Mavs fan here. Hey, at least we have a championship.
Wow.
That's fair. Wait.
Beer Nuts, I'm going to block you. That was hurtful and uncalled for.
That was
Lost
I hope
Toby.
Luka wins none.
Lost Toby,
Just for that.
That's a good point. Yeah. Lost Toby says, when was the last time the Lakers and the Celtics played in the playoffs? I think that rivalry is past the statute of limitations.
Is it 2011 in the finals? 2000. It was around.
Go ahead, turn on a computer or a phone from 2011. Let's see if it works.
That's
a long time ago.
No, it's not that long ago. It's 10, 12 years
What
ago.
are you just? That's a whole person's life.
Why do they have sickness? Why, 12 years?
Like so far.
Like so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
12 years.
This isn't the Bible times. It's not 12 years. I mean,
we didn't say they were dead, Ralph.
You sounded like it.
Up till now. Well, we don't consider
It's
Laker
still
fans actually people. Though.
It's still a rivalry.
What's the rivalry?
Probably the greatest in sports.
Oh, Boston and yeah. Okay. What do you think got rid of all the divisions and stuff?
They were in the 2009, 2010
They were
finals.
in 2 in a row, weren't they?
Yeah.
No West,
08,
no
09, 9, 09, and 10.
Yeah,
So
for 14 years.
No divisions, just the best
a
records.
decade and a half ago.
Go to the playoffs.
As you get older, Keon, you'll realize that 14 years, not a lot of time.
That's true.
I mean, it already feels like that.
That is very
It
true.
already feels like. I mean, I was listening to a song the other day, and I was like,
Wise
man.
words from the oldest person we know. Thank you, Ralph.
But yeah, I mean, in the NBA, the divisions aren't playoff related anyway.
I got
So-
flip phones older than you, Keon. I don't think that's right. Maybe
Why
that's
even
not-
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I don't
Why
think
even
that's-
have
I
a
am
division?
older than flip phones. Why did I say
I
that
don't
out loud? Why do they have divisions? I don't know.
You don't need them.
You don't.
I think some of it was a
but-
travel thing where you would you'd have guys you'd see more than you'd see the other guys to help with the travel thing. So they created these divisions, and then like also it lent itself to a simplified playoff structure. And, I don't think we need that anymore, though. I don't think we need to have that. I think let's play the best, maybe not divisions, but keep the East and the West. But then it's just the best out of those two places.
They already do that, but just with the divisions for some reason, which is
football's the only sport that still recognizes divisions, right? I mean,
like if you win your division, and
I don't think there's another sport that does anymore.
You're really bad, and the whole division is really bad. But if you crawl to the top of the dung heap, you still get in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why you have a 7-9 team in the playoffs.
Speaking of dung heaps, are the Dodgers still playing? Is that game over yet?
It's 14-1 last time I went.
The game should not still be happening.
Just kick the extra points.
What a special year for you with the Lakers winning that in-season tournament and the first game of the spring training.
Oh, it's the middle of the 7th.
Something special's happening here.
Yeah, I don't care about spring training.
Something special.
Oh yeah, you're see.
Fifth letter says real Laker fans think of the Suns as our little brother that could never make the varsity team.
That's true. Very true.
Lost Toby says Ralph's wife said 14 years is a long time. Dirty Bird says Suns versus Spurs. Definitely some bad blood in the playoffs. Oh, well, yeah, back when Steve Nash was around and took one right to the face. But
Robert Horry hip checked him into the boards like it was a hockey game.
I don't Randy holds a grudge on that one, but I'm just like, that was so long ago. Fish Tank says baseball still cares about divisions.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess that does matter. Lost Toby says, yeah, baseball, little division and wild card teams. And
yeah, that's true. That's true.
As far as basketball goes, I think we've had this conversation years ago where it doesn't that doesn't matter anymore. And I think it's hurting what you end up with in the playoffs. Because you just want the best teams,
but you already
in
get
the playoffs.
Like they don't. If you win the Southeast Division, for instance, you don't get in because you're the best team in that. You just don't. So you still have to win more games than the other teams in the conference.
But the other part of that is also get rid of the conferences, and you end up with the absolute best teams.
Oh, okay, if you're saying
no matter
that,
what,
drop conferences and just 16 best teams.
Get rid of the whole damn thing. But you want to keep some of that for scheduling. Okay. But
I don't like
if everybody who's good is in the East or West and everybody that is in the playoffs is in the East or West, I don't care. If you want to change it, have a better team somewhere so we don't need East. We don't need West. We don't need divisions. Baseball, you do. Basketball, I don't think you do.
I think you want it. I mean, I always think back to the 80s.
I want the
90s.
best to keep it entertaining.
I mean, I like the idea of the separation where you have the East Coast teams that usually have a certain culture. And you know what? I guess that's all changed because back in the day, that was the way it was. Maybe it is not anymore. I don't know.
Well, they all go jet skiing together. There's no longer us versus them, East versus West. It's all me versus my contract.
And even the way guys are coached from when they're kids coming up, you're all coached to play kind of similar. So like, people on the East Coast did not play basketball the way guys on the West Coast did, because you're playing on the East Coast. You're usually like in New York or DC or Philly somewhere. It's cold. Nobody shoots because it's cold. You're going to the basket. You're playing through contact. Then guys on the West Coast are playing in nicer weather, so they're shooters. You
don't heat the gyms.
You play outside on blacktop, man.
Oh, you're talking about growing up.
Yeah, growing up, like the way you played coming up back then.
Gotcha.
That's the way that it was. Now everybody plays in a gym. Everybody plays, inside. A lot of travel ball, a lot of AAU stuff. So there aren't distinct styles coming from different parts of the country. So you just have.
That's a shame.
You just have basketball.
Like the bruiser style versus the running shooting style.
But like that was the original appeal, I think, of like Celtics Lakers.
That was
like Showtime versus Boston.
A shooter was the exception. A bruiser was the rule back then, and it was very entertaining. It was. All right, listen, we have to take a break. When we come back, we didn't get there yet, but at least we're more on track than normal. I want to talk about the stuff between Charles Barkley and Kevin Durant and some other NBA stuff too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Here's Collins ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and in, and he's fouled. Holy moly!
Join the action at Desert Financial Arena and catch Sun Devil men's basketball as the Devils take on Washington Thursday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. and Washington State Saturday, February 24th at 6 p.m. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball. Onward to victory.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Arizona's new home for sports. Today, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Just got reminded we got some tickets to give away. That's right. Let's see. We've got tickets for this coming Saturday, and it looks like it's at 6 p.m. and it's WSU. That's Wazoo, right? That's Washington, right? Am I right?
Yep, you are.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so 6 p.m. Wow, that's a little bit later for a Saturday game. Usually, I thought they were a little earlier, but whatever. We got tickets for you, and we got 4 tickets and a parking pass. So we'll do what we usually do. When we do the thing and you call, you can choose 2 in a parking pass or 1 in a parking pass. Or if you have no car, just take the 2 and let somebody else have the parking pass. The first person who wins gets to decide how it goes for the next person. Or by the way, if you want 4 tickets and the parking pass, that's fine too. So, you know, don't be selfish. But if you have 4 people to go, you have 4 people to go. There's nothing selfish about that. Enjoy. Anyway, so we'll do those tickets giveaways here just a little bit. I don't know. Listen for your cue to call in and win. We're going to do it on the phone because I'm too lazy. It's too hot in here to mess with a text line contest. I think I'm doing pretty good not showing how hot it is.
Yeah, but no, it you can feel the heat coming from that room, and
my neck hurts. That's how hot it is.
So your air is working, Keon?
Yeah, his.
Oh yeah, no,
great.
mine's connected to a different part of the building.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, my air's fine.
Yeah.
So my neck, my back, also my. Well, let's continue. 888-368-1580. So Kevin Durant finally did say a few things back to old Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley, oh my God, this was like a long time ago, said that Kevin Durant is very sensitive and part of a generation that can't be criticized. Well, I don't know Kevin Durant, but yes, this is a generation that can't be criticized. And he says, no disrespect to Kevin, but Kevin is a follower. He's not a leader. He's proven that on all his stops. Devin Booker, hell of a player, but he's going to have to take the initiative to take the Suns to the next level. Okay, so that's what Charles Barkley said. But now finally, somebody asked him about that, and Kevin Durant says, well, I don't feel like I want people to call me a leader, but I also don't want people to say I'm not one either, because they don't see what goes on behind the scenes, what I talk about or my intentions or my relationships that I built with my teammates and support staff. Says I may not be as charismatic as my peers. I don't have a personality that's fit for TV like my peers. That's very honest talk right there. That is very, this is a guy who knows who he is, and it's just very honest just to say that out loud. But he says, yeah, he says, you know, I'm not, it's not my thing. I'm not trying to be that. I don't feel like I need people to call me a leader, but I don't want them to say I'm not one either. All right. And Vogel stepped up and said some stuff too, but who cares the crap what he says? Anyway, so, all right. So from what you have seen, again, it's only what you've seen. We don't know what is said in the locker room or in the practices. Do you get the feeling that Kevin Durant is not a leader?
No. In fact, when Charles was saying it, I didn't understand what he meant. Like, he said that's the way it's been on all of his stops. Well, okay, let's go back to Brooklyn. Especially the year where they were in the playoffs, they were in that 7-game series with the Bucks, which was a great series of basketball. And they were Kevin Durant's foot on the line, his big toe on the line from making the three that would have sent them to the Eastern Conference Finals instead. You had James Harden in and out. You had Kyrie not even playing because of all the COVID stuff. I mean, it was just, Kevin Durant played his butt off on that team, and he led them. And then when he was here,
by example, is what he does.
Yeah, and I think that the similar thing happened. I forget when but the game where they started kind of coming together and playing a whole lot better. I can't remember exactly who they were playing, but they were down like 18, and he was the one that stayed calm. He was the one that kept playing defense. He was the one that kind of got the guys together and said, "Hey, let's go. We can actually win this." And the more they started to shoot better, the more the guys started to believe. But it started with him, if you go back and watch it. So, no, I don't think that Kevin Durant's not a leader. I just think that's Charles's opinion, and Charles has been in the league and done amazing things. But Kevin, you don't have to be a rah-rah guy. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be vocal. You can go out there and just be yourself. And if you play good basketball and you show up to work every day and everybody sees the time you put in and the dedication you put in, that is leading.
Yeah, by the example and in practice, in the locker room, out there on the floor, by example. It's not about talk with him. It's about showing you. And he's still, even at the age he has reached, he's still damn good. So, but maybe the Suns do need more than what he's giving in that way. And, maybe that's just Charles off to the side, sort of with his two-dimensional view on, most things, where he says, well, he's not a rah-rah guy. He's not a leader, but they're going to need that. So both can be right at the same time. Charles Barkley, like Ralph says, is a guy who has seen it all. He's been in basketball as a player and then as an analyst like he does forever. And he's right. But, if they need a rah-rah guy, he's right. It's not going to be Kevin Durant. It's going to have to be somebody else. And I hope that's all he was saying, because Charles Barkley should be smart enough to see what Kevin Durant does out there, how hard he plays and how serious he takes his job, and how much he's working on things in practice. I mean, I got zero complaints about Kevin Durant.
I think Charles Barkley's just that he's the guy. He's always been the guy that just likes to talk, right? He likes to say things and stir up
controversy. He doesn't understand somebody who doesn't.
And he was a form of a leader, kind of, sort of, by the way. He, just kind of used his mouth in a sense. It's a different kind of leadership. And I agree with Keon 100%. I mean, KD leads by example at everything he does. He's just a class act, right? even though he's a Sun, I think he's a great guy.
Oh,
I
shut your
love him
face.
as a player. And I think he's a heck of a leader. And I think maybe the Suns do need something else. I don't know if they have that vocal guy on. I guess that.
I don't think it's Devin Booker either. He's kind of quiet too.
Booker. I think Booker. I mean, he's like a little spoiled brat. I mean,
it ain't Beal.
I don't think they have that guy. So maybe to that point, he's right. They don't have that guy, and maybe they need that guy. I don't know.
They shouldn't need that guy. You have 3 people who packed their lunch in the box and they showed up for work, and then whenever they're not hurt, they're working hard every day.
But they're still mediocre. That team is mediocre.
They're not mediocre.
I disagree with that.
That team is mediocre.
Oh, knock it off.
No, I'm not knocking it off because look at their
when
stands,
all
look where
3
they're
are
at.
together,
Yeah.
that's what you need to judge it by.
This is what I say to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't mean anything to me when you're.
Are you putting steroids into your Dodgers
I was
with that?
injecting
Is that
it
what you're doing? You're putting steroids
over and over again.
But the Dodgers jersey, I figured that, of course, that was steroids.
No,
Oh, yeah,
the team is not mediocre, and I say that because when they've played other good teams and they've been healthy, they've won those games. And when you're what is it, 9-10 games above 500, and you're 5th in the Western Conference after the start they had again because of injury. No, it's not mediocre, and
they lose tonight. They're out of the top 6 again.
Okay,
and
it's a close bunch of teams. What is
They're
that?
mediocre.
That's not mediocre.
Come on.
That how can you be in the top 5 in the conference?
Really looking forward to the
through
playoffs.
most of the season, and you're mediocre. That doesn't. What you're saying doesn't make any sense compared to the standings. Because what the hell are the Lakers if the Suns are mediocre? Like, what am I looking at here?
Worse than mediocre.
I can't wait for the playoffs either because I just when they lose in the playoffs, and then I want to hear the excuses.
You gonna make them
they're gonna
laugh?
lose. They're not a top tier NBA team. They're not an elite team in the NBA.
I disagree with that. What games have you been watching?
Not a whole lot.
Okay, well then what are we? Okay, we're done talking to you about this because
I've been watching WNBA.
I watched like 7 of them. It's WNBA starts in the summer.
And Ralph's
so
credibility has hit an all-time
just
low.
like it can't. So here I am. I thought I was arguing with somebody who had like facts. It's like
I've
no,
watched-
How do you not see it?
my feelings tell me the team is
You
mediocre.
have
Oh,
for this every time, Keon.
well, because I like arguing. But look, it's just I just don't understand how you can say that
I've
with a
been
straight
saying
face.
this all season.
You
At what
you
point
are.
do we say, what point do we raise our hand and say this is not a great team? And you keep making excuses week after
what
week.
what
after
excuses? I think this team is
week.
good.
They haven't been all playing together. Oh,
Listen,
this guy's hurt. Oh, that guy's hurt. And it'll be in another.
Ralph,
excuse
they're
next
healthy
week,
now. I
and
haven't had to make an excuse
Let's
in 2
save
months.
Let's save
What
it
excuse?
for when it matters.
I-
Let's save it for the next month or 2. Okay. Lacrosse.
I don't want to. I want to piss you off.
I remember the last time that the
think you've
Suns
done it.
played the Mavs. Oh, they beat the brakes off of them. Stop it! Like, what are you doing?
Lacrosse guy says, Ralph, really? Suns are 10 games over 500. I hope
So?
you're better at selling solar than this.
Oh no!
Lost Toby
goddamn.
says, clearly Harmon Solar does not drug test.
Not anymore.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, they're better than the Lakers, though, Ralph. They're better than the
But what
Lakers.
does that mean? I'm not sitting here saying the Lakers are going to win an NBA title.
I
even
feel
though
like
they
it's-
went to the conference championship.
I feel like
last
it's
year.
pretty simple. They just said
You're
they're
right. Let's wait
better
for the
than your
playoffs
team.
and see who's better.
Fifth letter says, wait, ain't Keon a Wizards fan? All of a sudden, he's a super fan of the Suns. I feel like he's a super fan of the truth, actually.
I just like basketball. I
His
watch
truth.
everybody. Yeah, I'm a Wizards fan.
So his
But-
truth is
wrong.
The Suns. He's just telling
Right.
you like he sees it.
But I've watched the Wizards win 9 games this year. Yeah, I have to watch everybody else.
He says, come on, Keon, you're better than that. Realness over millions. But with that said, yes, Ralph is tripping. Suns are better than mediocre.
So wait, so how am I a super fan if we both agree on the literal basic fact that they're better than mediocre? What are we arguing here?
You see, like when somebody finds a cheat code and you're like, oh, hey, pretty good. And then everybody finds the cheat code and it's just like, oh, the cheat. They've all figured out the cheat code to piss off Keon. And that's they're just up, left, up, left.
Well, they haven't all figured out the cheat code. Ralph has. Ralph gets it. But the thing is, like, even when I like to get into to sports and I like to get into, I don't know, it gets me fired up and I like that. But like, then people hear that and they're like, you're mad. And I'm like, well, not
by God,
angry.
you better make sense or Keon's is gonna take heads.
Well, yeah.
I mean, do you honestly think the Suns are going to contend for the title this year? Do you really, in your gut, I mean, with what you know and what you've seen, you feel the Suns are going to be there in the end?
You have a short time to answer.
I don't like to make absolute statements like that because I can't say that about any Eastern Conference or Western Conference team. But I'm saying if you get the right matchups, can that team make it? And that's kind of how I make my list of teams that can and can't. Yeah, I think if the Suns get the right matchups, they can. I think if they run into the Clippers, that's not a really great situation. It's a bad matchup for them.
They got a shot, but from this point forward, they can't screw up. Everything they can't get injured. They can't. Oh my God.
LA Clippers, but LA will win the title.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as it's not the Lakers, I'm okay with it. Heavy Metal Maniac says, so the Dodgers are already sending out all their starters to start a game 1 of spring training. Guess we'll go ahead and,
they had one starter.
Here comes the Dodgers championship. Well done. All right. We'll be back hour 2 of the Daily Blender after this here on 1580 The Fanatic.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-216-9922. That's 1-800-216-9922. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-216-9922. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-364-1031 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-364-1031. That's 800-364-1031. What do you have to lose? Call 800-364-1031. Again, 800-364-1031.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. Word on the street is he will be back tomorrow. Right now, we got Ralph from Harmon Solar with us. Sorry. I got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line. 888-368-1580 as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Oh, Ralph, your wife texted in.
She did.
Yeah, she says, Ralph and I have been married for 32 years. 14 of those years he has spent on the toilet, so it hasn't been that bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Swazman says, hold on. The whole system just locked up for a second there. Oh, by the way, in case you care, and even if you don't, we've got tickets for Saturday's ASU basketball game. We got 4 tickets and a parking pass. You can have whatever version you want. You can have 2 tickets, but not 3. No. Okay. Let me just clarify. We're not giving you 3. That's just what are we going to do with 1 ticket? I mean, we've given away 1 ticket, but then we all got really sad about it for that person. Just I can't go on. So you can have 2 or you can have 4, but whoever wins gets the actual parking pass and shuffles off whatever's left over to whoever else. So be ready for that. It's ASU hosting Wazoo. Yeah, Wazoo. Okay. Anyway, so let's see if my text line is working now. Swazman says, did you guys hear that some sharp bettor and baseball people think the Diamondbacks can make it back to the World Series for a second chance championship? As you know, it's pitching and defense, not the big bopper.
Did he say sharp bettor or stroke victim? I didn't hear you.
And he said sharp bettor, but
I think it's stroke victim.
Swazman, I think it's just way too early to go with what they say or what Numbnuts here is trying to say. I think it's just we got to see some games before you really get a handle on that. So don't listen to those or haters. Just wait and see what the teams are this year. You just don't know until you start to see some real games. Big George says, hey, question for Ralph Romano, Harmon Solar, Weekend Warriors.
Oh, cool.
He says, what do you think of Major League Baseball's new see-through uniform pants? Oh, he loves them. Can't get enough of them. He keeps texting me about them, sending me screenshots. It's a little uncomfortable, Ralph. I wish you'd stop.
Wow. Yeah, I saw the article about that today.
George says, does it remind you of your days working as a male stripper in LA?
It does. And when you have those kind of glutes, you understand why.
It was 2 days, and they asked him to please stop.
So, the glutes that I had when I was young, yeah, I get it. I made a lot of money. But anyway, there's a lot. Those pants are probably going to wind up. They might wind up changing these uniforms a little bit before the season starts.
I mean, they look ridiculous.
I was reading an article from NBC Sports Philadelphia. That entire locker room hates everything about the New Jersey.
It's horrible.
And there's certain things that you're not supposed to see, through pants.
Even the jerseys, they're so thin too. It's horrible.
Well, I know you hate the jerseys, but these pants make you forget the jerseys.
The players that have said, "Oh no, it's cool, I love it, it's great," are all Nike spokespeople. So
of course.
You can't take their word for anything.
Kind of when you're watching a game, you go, he's not wearing a jock.
I'm embarrassed to say the word fanatics is involved in who's doing that.
Oh, that's right.
Well, to be fair,
we are
Fanatics,
not related to Fanatics jerseys. We are 1580 the Fanatic.
Fanatics is just selling it.
Yeah.
Nike designed the jersey.
We are not in league with people who use child labor or see-through materials.
We sell nothing.
Yeah, tell me about it. 888-368-1580.
Oh, here comes the email.
By the way, did you know the Diamondbacks are selling something? They're selling every game that they do. They've got a special package. Keon told me during the break, and I think Randy will be excited about this. For $100, $100 make you holla. You can get all the Diamondbacks games streamed for the season. $100 for the team. Major League Baseball also offering a season-long subscription that covers all teams for $200 a year. So the Sunday ticket version of Major League Baseball is $200.
Is it only $200?
That pisses me off a little bit.
I thought it was more than that.
For all I spend on the Sunday ticket for the NFL. But yeah, $100 a year just for your team.
And if you have T-Mobile, it's free. So just know that that's the only good thing about having T-Mobile, because it's not the service.
That's good. So Randy doesn't have to pay any more. So he just went and moved over to Fubo for no reason.
Basically,
we should call him.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you want to only get the Diamondback games, and you can get a cheaper streaming service or something, or just no streaming service for TV if you want, and just watch it there. So it fits you. Whatever fits you, fits you. Not gonna tell you how to live your life. Just another face in the crowd says, shouldn't somebody have credibility to get to a new low of credibility? On this show, I think Keon has the most credibility. I think that's true. So he's got the credibility. The rest of us, we compete for the new low of credibility. Niner Annapolis says, as a former wrestler and coach, I say these guys take it to the mat. Oh, you're talking about you and Ralph, Keon. You
Why?
guys should wrestle.
We should. Now that I've interviewed that ASU wrestler, I'm ready to go.
Is that what's happening here? Because Niner Annapolis says, damn, I just tuned in. It sounds like Keon wants to take Ralph into the parking lot.
Well, first off, Ralph's
Hey, Keon's got a girlfriend. Stop.
Ralph's not physically here, so that's one. And two, no, I just strongly disagree. Why would we have to fight about it? They're going to play the games about it, and then one of us is going to be wrong. Yeah.
Right. Fifth letter says, I was just giving you a hard time, Keon. And then he says, you're right. Oh, you're right about the Suns being better than the Lakers. Very nice. Lost Toby says, Ralph is the only stripper that was paid to keep his clothes on. 8718, he's texted in, I think, like once before. He says, I agree with the solar guy. Oh, I think this is one of your friends, Ralph.
It's not.
Yeah, I think he is. From 847 area code. He says, I agree with the solar guy. Suns are mediocre. They got 2.5 stars, and they're almost in the play-in.
Good text.
They'll have 3 if they're healthy.
They're almost in the play-in. They're the 5th seed.
It's one of Ralph's
Might
pals.
happen tonight.
It's definitely one of
Just-
Ralph's pals.
Might happen tonight.
If you can do math,
What's 847 area code? I don't even know what that is.
Mediocre, says Moist One. Ralph is mediocre. All right. That's kind of weird, man.
It's kind of scary, actually.
And he says it's $149.99 for Major League Baseball TV. Well, then I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Maybe the price is going up next year. Shut up. Hefty Lefty says that's like 75 cents a game. Yeah, that seems pretty fair, actually, these days.
yeah, like if you spread it across the amount of months of the season,
Yeah.
it's not a bad price.
Makes me more and more angry about NFL Sunday Ticket. It really does. Lost Toby says Nike sold the logo rights to Fanatics. Oh,
Gotcha.
Logo right?
so who's making it?
But-
Who's producing them? He says they are producing them and making all the uniforms. So the Fanatics are manufacturing all this? Well, whatever the case, something's got to be done. I just don't. Do you really see them making it to opening day wearing see-through pants?
No, that's going to change.
Yeah,
I think the template's going to have to change too. It's wrong. It's bad.
Old drunky drunk is going to have to, get out of his bender there and figure it out. I don't mean Randy. I'm talking about Rob Manfred.
They're manufactured by Fanatics, but Nike designed them.
Yeah, it's Nike's template.
Yeah, Nike
So-
designed them, but who chose the fabric that are see-through? You see what I'm saying? It might have been the Fanatic trying to
No,
cut
I think
corners.
it was a Nike thing because they talked about being thin and performing better.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that wasn't
Like,
that was
I-
intentional.
I watched that interview with Ronald Acuna, and he was talking about how, since he plays fast, that kind of uniform, again, he's a Nike guy, so
Mhm.
you can't really trust it, but like that kind of uniform is good for the way that he plays and blah, blah, blah. So with Nike designed this basically, and
So-
that includes the material.
This just in, people at Nike are pervs.
Yes.
It's
I know.
you can't even argue that,
yeah,
can you?
yeah, tried to find a
You damn perverts over there.
just how do you explain that? I mean,
Breathable, meshable.
And they're selling the Authentics for almost $400.
okay,
Oh,
you need
Oh.
that needs to stop.
oh,
And they're not worth $4.
oh. Moist One says Otani's see-through pants might turn Ralph into a two-way player.
Jeez.
I always just assumed. 888-368-1580. So back to the basketball. I don't know if you guys saw this. All right, raise your hand if you saw The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan thing. Did you watch the documentary? You didn't watch it, Ralph?
No.
How come?
I just never got to it.
You weren't curious at all? It was actually really
I still will probably
pretty
watch it.
nicely done.
Just haven't done it.
I mean, some of it you're kind of like, yeah, they left some things out. Some of it you're like, okay, well, the guy paying for it, Michael Jordan, of course, this thing is going to tilt in his favor.
He did have editorial control, so
I think he sat at the machine with a cigar in one hand and a mouse in the other. Yeah, it was obvious. But so I guess a couple people that weren't happy about that. Scottie Pippen, he was very salty about it. The whole thing, wrote a book, and will talk to anyone who will listen. And then Luke Longley wasn't happy about what was said about him. And Horace Grant also not happy about what was said. So how long has it been? 2 years, 3 years since that came out?
It's been 4.
No, yeah, it was
it came
during
out.
COVID.
Yeah. Like they were near. They were.
It was the only thing to watch during COVID.
Yeah, they rushed it out because it was like, we'll all be at home anyway.
How drunk were you, Ralph, that you didn't watch?
I never watched it.
Anyway, I'm curious why, but whatever.
I mean,
none of my
like
business.
I'm like you. I never really got COVID that much. So
you gave me COVID, Ralph. Sorry. Anyway, no, that's a true story. He gave me COVID. He denies it.
False story.
He flips it around, trying to say I gave it to him. I can't give it to you. I hadn't left my house in forever. But one day I leave the house and I come in here. Bam, COVID. Who's in here when I'm here? Ralph.
And who got it? Boom, me.
You gave it to me,
You
jackass.
gave it to me.
Oh. You even said, I ain't getting vaccinated. Oh, I'm going to work. I don't give a damn. That was so for you guys who are listening on radio. I just gave him the glare. Anyway,
yeah.
All right. So back to Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Luke Longley. They're all a little bit miffed at old Michael Jordan. They say for not telling the accurate story, for not giving their side a fair shot. And in fact, Horace Grant says Michael Jordan's a liar, and so I guess he's not worried about anything. So here's what's going to happen. This is going to be really bad. Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley have all gotten together and they've joined up to go on tour addressing all the stuff they think are lies in The Last Dance. 4 years later, you waited 4 years. I can see waiting until COVID was over, but now you're going to wait 4 years. So here's what you've just learned. Scottie Pippen's books aren't selling. Horace Grant has nothing better to do. And we've all forgotten about Luke Longley. So this is it. This is just, how do you go on tour? Oh my God. You know where it starts? Tasmania. And then they're going to Australia.
Wait a minute.
They're traveling outside of the United States on tour to give their part. They give their side of the story.
The people you need to address are the people who live here.
And you don't need to address anyone.
And you don't. This just really sounds
we know Michael Jordan probably screwed you over on that. We also just don't care.
It's
reason for vacation.
It's 3 bitter old guys is what it looks like. And there's no getting around it, especially Scottie Pippen. I'm the most disappointed in him because he was my favorite player when I was a kid. And the way he played defense, I learned a lot watching him. But this is insanity. He's the first guy Michael Jordan thanked when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it's not like Michael doesn't know what Scottie did and doesn't publicly thank him for it often. Why is he doing this? I don't understand.
So they're I don't know if they're actually calling it this or not, but he says, Horace Grant says it's going to be the No Bull Bleep Tour.
Oh boy.
I don't know if they're really calling it that. And it's just dumb. And this is a bunch of guys who I think they're trying to make rent. I think that's all it is.
I mean, with Scottie has got enough money. He's just bitter. He's just bitter.
He's trying very hard to sell books. I don't know how much money he actually has.
Yeah, but even before he had books to sell, he was trying to, take all these digs at Michael Jordan. And then he had the book, and then he started taking even more shots to sell the book, I assume. And now he's doing this. Like, he's just been bitter for a long time.
Hefty Lefty says Luke Longley is Australian, so maybe that's why they're going there. Yeah, you might be right.
Probably.
New texter on the text line, 9685, says, you couldn't pay me to read Scottie's book. I bet I could.
Like, there's got to be a number. I mean,
seriously. You're new here, 9685, but let's just say I've got my checkbook open. Oh, what's your number? What is your number? I bet it's a lot lower than you're going to say at first. I bet I can negotiate you down. Hey, Ralph, do I hear a bunch of kids in the background?
No.
Come on,
I hear it too, but it's not on. It's not here.
Is it here?
I don't know.
Maybe it might be. I heard it too, so I have no idea.
We have ghosts.
Have you killed a bunch of little kids and put them in a closet? I mean, I don't know.
Mind your own business. What I do in my off time is mine.
Wow.
Well, you sure there's no kids outside your window or something?
No, there's nothing here.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that heard it.
I heard it too.
No, I heard it as well. I just assumed it was something from outside, maybe. So I just kind of let it roll.
There'd be no kids out here.
There shouldn't be. No,
it's freaking me out a little bit. Sorry.
Shouldn't be.
But if Ralph heard it, that's confusing.
I'm afraid I'm going to go there, open a closet, and just see a bunch of kids bound and gagged.
I can't say that would never happen. But no hefty lefty. Arizona Sports Angels not here. we don't give kids as part of the charity. It's sporting equipment for kids. So Swazman says, let's see here. Yeah, he was sitting at Holcomb Park next to Jody Davis, he says, I once paid $25 for a Fergie Jenkins autograph on his picture in spring training. Remember, we all have to try to make our way. Even Pete Rose charges an appearance fee. I stumbled into Pete Rose walking through a casino in Vegas, and he was sitting at a high top, and his wife was standing there propping him up. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I walked by, and he kind of gave me a look like, in a drunken look, you want an autograph? I'm like, I'm all good.
All good.
No, thank you.
So here's the thing with the Pete Rose thing is that when Pete Rose makes an appearance and he charges, people asked Pete Rose to come. This tour is a thing that I am absolutely certain nobody asked for. Because if you asked for it, you know where you'd start? You'd start in Chicago. That's where you'd start.
That would make the most sense.
But no, you went to Tasmania and Australia first. Nobody cares.
Nobody in Chicago wants to hear it.
Nobody in Chicago wants to hear it. Quite frankly, in the continental U.S., I don't think anybody wants to hear it either.
Big George says, I was listening to the podcast from Monday earlier today, and I heard some kids talking in the background of the podcast. Also sounded like some bleed over from the other radio station. Very strange. Well, we don't have kids screaming on the other radio station, I don't think.
What?
I mean, I don't know what J.D. Hayworth is up to in there, but it's none of my business. Waldo says, all right, I'd read that book for a pair of Jordans and a Happy Meal.
Wow.
All right. Well, I'm not actually offering it. I just only the guy who said he wouldn't. You've already offered to do it. So I think I could get you for just the Happy Meal. Don't lie to me, Waldo. You do it for just the Happy Meal. If you could read.
Oh, boy.
Prison Wallet says, you couldn't pay me to read it because I never learned to read either. Oh, poor Prison Wallet. See, what you do is you threaten to shank a guy until he reads it to you. That's books. That's audiobooks in prison. You just
it's an on-demand audiobook.
Read me the book or else.
It's very demanding.
Moist One says, did you buy a new cabinet from Wayfair?
Oh my God.
Waldo agrees. He'd read the book for a Happy Meal. I know my audience. Say whatever you want about this show. I know my audience. All right. Haruto is on the text line, says, hello, Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Romano, Mr. Rose. I'm enjoying today's show. In fact, the sound has improved even today. Are you using new equipment? Haruto, you need to shut the hell up about the microphones thing. The owner of the radio station hears you saying that. He's going to make me come in every day.
You guys do sound a lot clearer today.
Shut up, Ralph. We're going to break. We're going to erase that off the podcast, too.
I'm with Haruto.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
We've been friends for over 30 years. And
Wait. It's been over 30 years?
Yep, you are that old.
Well, at least you have one friend.
Anyway, we have a show called The Weekend Warriors, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
We'll discuss national and local sports, and we'll talk about some sports that you don't hear about much.
We'll also interview local athletes, coaches, and sports-related business owners to share their stories with you.
We look forward to sharing these great stories and hanging out with you.
It's The Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Just heard a promo there for Ralph's show, Weekend Warriors. Him and Neil come in at 10 a.m. every Saturday morning and F the place up. I don't know what they're doing. To be honest. Try not to get involved. So what's your show about this week?
We have a really good show this week. I mean, we're going to talk some baseball stuff. But our main thing is we have an interview with Jacob Meisner, who is a ASU wrestler. And I love this kid. This is just a great kid. He tells his story how he chose ASU. He was wrestling up in Minnesota in high school, and just kind of the path that led him down here and the experience he's having now. And he talks about the team and the coaches a little bit. It's just a really, really good kid and a great story. And I would definitely, if you have any interest in wrestling, especially, I honestly didn't even know much about ASU wrestling, but I'd like to go watch it now just from talking to him. I would tune in and listen to this kid.
ASU's always had a really nice wrestling program. A lot of good people have come through there.
They're ranked 12th in the country. I guess they've won. I think they've been like third, second last few years. I mean, they're a solid program. They have one guy that's looks like he's going to be an Olympian. So yeah, really good program.
Hey, so this Jake kid, Jake Mesner, does he talk like Minnesota?
No, not at all.
Oh yeah, I like to wrestle there. I grabbed the guy's arm and I just put it around behind his back. I said, "Listen here, I don't want any trouble now." That'd be awesome. I'll listen. You should have told me that. Now I don't need to listen.
It was really neat to hear him talk about the NIL stuff too. We got into that a little bit.
Did he get anything? What did he get?
Oh yeah, he's got 4 NIL deals.
No kidding.
Oh yeah,
no kidding.
So,
Good for him.
I mean, he's making decent money, but
doing actual wrestling, not fake wrestling.
Right.
Real wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good for that kid. All right. Well, we could all listen into that Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Also, this is something we haven't really talked about much. Just because we thought he was kidding. Keon said, "Hey, I want my own show too." And I was just like, "All right, buddy." And then he comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm going to start that show this week." I'm like, "What?" Oh, he's like, "You forgot." I'm like, "No, what time? Right after Ralph's show." So I guess, it's going to be the Keon Rose show. It'll be on Saturday at 11.
Yeah. And well, I like the name that you came up with earlier.
I came up with a name today. I did.
I want to hear this.
I like the Keon Rose show because everybody knows Keon. Everybody loves Keon. And so I figured, well, just name the show after yourself. It's just because it's just him. It's just going to be him. And are you going to work the text line at all? Or are you going to?
Yeah, I'm going to use the text line and get into some stuff. And hopefully the plan is to get into some stuff that, maybe we don't get into on the blender because we're bouncing around all over the place. Sometimes we spend an hour talking about alligators.
Well,
yeah.
So that's why I came up with the name I came up with today. I came in, I was like, because he was talking about what he's going to do with his show. Hey, you guys don't need to hear this. But then I said, oh, here's the name for your show. I like the Keon Rose show, but if you're going to name it, you can call it
without interruption.
Oh,
because on this
I
show,
like it.
he's
really like
always getting interrupted
Essentially constantly.
by me.
So it's only fitting that you
I'm just saying.
come up with the name. So yeah,
or you can call it Ramble On.
Ramble On with Keon Rose,
which is just a very accurate description.
I think without interruption is probably a little smarter and a little more on the point.
I do like without interruption, but
I think you just call it the Keon Rose Show. He's got a great name. Why don't you just go with that?
Without interruption with Keon Rose.
There's only 8 letters. His name is just born to be a logo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just ting, 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 like that. But you do whatever you want, man. You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I like without interruption, so I might roll with that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have never said anything. I like the Keon Rose Show better. But without interruption with Keon Rose. Oh, see there. Now you get it all.
Now you get it in there. Yeah.
Ralph screwed up. He has a partner. Now he just calls it the Weekend Warriors. You can be without interruption with Keon Rose. Because if Ralph does that, Weekend Warriors with Ralph and Neil, then he doesn't want that.
And Neil doesn't want that either.
Yeah. No, Neil, I don't think Neil wants anything to do with this, to be honest. He just doesn't have the heart to tell
He
Ralph.
just keeps showing up every week. Like, one day.
Neil leaned over to me the other day. He's like, I didn't think Ralph was seriously doing a radio show. I thought this was just, in Ralph's head, like a lot of things. It's just weird. Swazman says, hey, I also saw Pete Rose signing autographs in Vegas. He whispered to me, kill me, run me over in the parking lot, please. I don't believe you. Prison Wallet says, many things are on demand in prison if you're tough enough. That's what I'm saying. And I'm assuming Prison Wallet has always been tough enough to get anything he wants on demand.
There's a lot there that I don't think we ever want to ask about.
Not gonna.
Stuff to unpack, and we're not going to.
Yep, not gonna. A new texter on the text line, 5054, says, isn't Michael Jordan's son dating Pippen's ex-wife? They were engaged, and it was awkward. And then just the other day, they broke up. And so Michael Jordan is just like, that was close.
Breathing the biggest sigh of relief.
Who's more relieved? Is it Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen? I say Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Let me tell you why it's Michael Jordan. Because Pippen will always have a damn microphone in front of his mouth to bitch and moan and complain if that happened. And since they're not getting married, no reason to talk to Scottie Pippen anymore, is there? There's always a reason to talk to Michael Jordan.
That's a good point. Probably Michael, because Scottie Pippen wasn't going to have to go to that wedding, which I think is the most awkward part of everything involved in this, is that you'd have to actually see that happen.
You're right.
Scotty's not going, so he's out.
Sits at home and stews about it. Yeah. 2358, another new texter on the text line says, Saturday Rage with Keon Rose. That's what it should be.
Saturday Rage.
Or no. Saturday Rage. I'm buying the two. Saturday.
I mean, that could be a segment.
Yeah.
They're not going to yell the whole show.
That's not bad.
Ask me to come on. I'll get you yelling the whole
It's
show.
my Saturday Rage. Hey, not bad. 2358. Who the hell are you? Good to hear from you. Radio Ron says, hey, Jeffrey, how much longer do I need to hold these wires together? These things do make us sound better. Just keep holding them, Ron. Just keep holding them. I had to go down the hall and, well, shut up. Anyway, just play along. 54 says, have you guys heard of the Thinky wheel on the text line? I really hate this. It's a brand new texter. Why would it do this? Oh,
it
here
makes an appearance daily.
Oh, yes. It wasn't even. Well, okay. The text line's going crazy because 5054 is Big George. He says, have you guys heard of the phenomenon known as EVP? Yeah. It's where you hear voices, like somebody's recording and you hear it off in the background. EVP, like that's how they find ghosts. And he says, kids you're hearing could be the lost souls of innocence in North Scottsdale. Ha! There's no way. There's never been innocence in North Scottsdale. Hefty Lefty says, will the Weekend Warriors? Oh, well, thank you. I'm just going to have to hit that button and do something else for a while. Be utilizing the text line. Hefty Lefty, we've already told you they're going to start. We
started that last week. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. And not every dumb thing you're going to say, he's going to read like I do.
Every dumb thing that someone said, Ralph's going to look at it discerningly and go, can I beat this person in an argument? If not, he's not reading your text.
Well, I'd read everyone's text then. That'd be too easy.
That'd be the whole show. It'd be
I mean, we'd waste 3 hours doing that.
For Keon to be standing here, it's my turn. You shut up. No.
You're now at 1 o'clock.
Someone disagrees with me out there. That's why his wife is like, yeah, he's up all night on the internet screaming at people. Pineapple Express says, Ralph Romano, the man, the myth.
This is going nowhere good.
The legend. Hey, Ralph, is any harm in investing in solar?
Oh, my God.
For my hut here in Hawaii? Because we get a lot of rain. Again, that Harmon solar joke has got to stop.
Yeah.
I would have stopped it if I had to think you will.
You couldn't, it didn't give you the chance to see it coming. Yeah.
Manitoban Moose from the Canada says, wrestling was my favorite sport to participate in high school and college. I wrestled for the University of Manitoba back in the day. We dominated the Tri-Province area. I'll have to listen to your show, Ralph, on Saturday morning.
I got to tell you, I have to cut the interview to put it into the segment for the show. And then we offered the whole interview on streaming at 1580thefanatic.com. It was really hard to put together that segment because there's so much good stuff in there.
You know, and anybody talks more than Ralph, he cuts them out of the interview.
That's true too. But
so there's a lot of Ralph talking. But if you want to hear all of the conversation, you go to their podcast page.
I'd be curious to Manitoba. I mean, you said you wrestled in high school. Did you guys come down to the States and wrestle a lot? Or I'm sure you probably did.
Manitoba Moose, you want to go? You want to go? You're going. Hurry Harry says, ramble on with Keon. It rhymes.
It does rhyme.
It does rhyme. Wow.
I don't know if that's really a positive.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's more of a segment kind of name because, you know.
Just another face in the crowd says, Keon, the Ramblin' Rose. Yeah.
Isn't that a song?
Yeah, I don't know. Bruno Baller says, I think
Ramblin'
Keon's
Man.
intro song should be Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Every rose has its thorn.
That should be.
Except for it's not the kind of song you want to start a show to, but not bad.
Yeah.
Ray says, how about Keon calling his show Keeping Quiet with Matt Lauer?
Wow.
Might get an unexpected boost from old NBC listeners. Interesting.
For about 2 minutes.
Kiss the Cook says, I met Jordan. He's an a-hole. I can probably contact my cousin and ask if there's any truth in that claim since he played for the Bulls. Oh, the truth in the Scottie Pippen and Luke Longley and Horace Grant. I'm sure there's some element of that, but you know, everybody's the hero of their own story. Michael Jordan has carefully cultivated every part of the narrative that he has in that documentary. And all these other guys probably have some fair beef, but then there's other stuff they probably don't have. You know, it just comes across. Come on. You know what? This is what I tell people, you know, have some dignity. Can you believe it comes from me? Have some dignity.
Not really. I'm a little shocked right now.
You know, if something like that goes down, just, you know what? You shake your head, nod, and somebody asks you about it. You're like, yeah, well, he didn't tell the whole story, did he? And the people that are watching, they know that Scottie Pippen is more than that. They know that Luke Longley was more than that. They know Horace Grant. I used to use Horace Grant in NBA Jam session because he would get on fire and he was great. I used to have fun using the Bulls whenever I would play and even using Horace Grant. So my point is, nobody is thinking bad thoughts about Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, or Luke Longley from the Michael Jordan documentary. Everybody who watched realized who was telling the story. So it's not a thing you got to go on tour for. It's just a money grab. Like everything else Scottie Pippen's done lately, it's just a money grab. Killer Rabbit says, Ramblin' with Rose show. I don't know why you guys think you have to redo my job. I just gave him a great name, and then we came up with another great name. So, yeah, we're good here.
Yeah.
Silver Pops texting from his witness protection number. Oh, that was him with the Saturday Rage. Good job, Silver Pops. Is this your new number, or is this only until the trial's over? Lost Toby says, when are we getting Blender After Dark? Keon's show could be called The Rager. After Dark? I don't know. Somebody wants to pay me for it. Swave Dave says, since Radio Ron is cleaning house, well, he's not cleaning house. He's holding a couple of wires together. He says, can I get my own show too? We could call it the Davos Suave show.
You just swave Dave. Why can't we just? We're not giving you a show. T-Licious says, I'll try to listen to your show, Keon, on my way to the club, Cubs Giants spring training game Saturday. Now I'm going to get paid for drinking beer. What?
You're going to have to explain some of that.
Whoa. How do you get paid for drinking beer? What
And
have we been doing wrong in our life?
Yeah. And why are you keeping the secret to yourself? It's very selfish of you.
Kenry from Jamaica is mad at everybody stealing his harm on solar jokes. He says, hey, guys, that's my thing.
Well, Kenry, if you didn't use it every day, no one would think to steal it.
I think it should never be used again. And not just because they're a sponsor. It's just lacking in funny.
It was barely funny the first time. And we we are weeks into this now.
Quiet Cannon says, Keon's Sports Hub. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and also no. And you know why.
Prison Wallet says, new show theme song, Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. Trust me, it'll work. Yeah, you should write that down. Look it up. See if it is. Maybe we'll put it on this show instead. Hurry Harry says, those guys would have been irrelevant if it weren't for Jordan. No, I don't think that's true. Scottie Pippen would have been relevant. The other guys would have been role players. And you're right. We probably wouldn't even remember their names. But Scottie Pippen was good.
Yeah, I mean, they were in the Eastern Conference semifinals the year that Jordan retired the first time. And Scottie Pippen took him there.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen has made the playoffs every year he's been in the NBA, including the years he didn't have Jordan. So we're not going to do that to Scottie Pippen. But yeah, Luke Longley. Horace Grant was also a really great player. He went to the, I think the Magic beat the Bulls when Jordan came back, and Horace Grant was on Orlando's team. So he did that without Jordan too, because he did it against Jordan. Longley, why is he here? What?
Yeah,
if we're just honest, why is Luke?
Because he's going to let him stay at his place in Australia. Right. That's why.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Rico Suave says the Bloomin' Rose. Okay, guys, it's not. It makes it sound like he's in a quinceañera or something. Slow-mo Zoe says a dose of rose. Please stop. Pineapple Express says, how about calling Keon's show Smelling Like Roses with Keon Rose?
I am. Well,
each segment can be called a new stem. Dude, I think I get it. You don't like stems or seeds, but you got to stop.
The name's been decided. We really don't have to do this.
Silver Pop says, I've said too much. No. We know that. That's been very apparent. Moist One says, I want to do a NASCAR show. You shut your face. Killer Rabbit says, how about a part of Keon's show? Oh, now they want to give you segment.
Wow. Okay. This is.
You guys didn't harass Ralph like this when he started his show.
The Weekend Warriors, and everybody was just like, he can name it whatever he wants. He's fine. My show is just.
Killer Rabbit says, how about predicting future games to be called Future with Keon Rosie Palm? How does that even make any sense?
I understand the Ken Palm thing, so I guess is that like
okay.
But no.
Tia says, Radio Ron finally canned Ralph. All right, about time.
No, I'm on after Ralph.
Yes.
Ralph
Ralph's
still
at
very
10.
much has a show.
Ralph's at 10 with the Weekend Warriors. Keon is at 11. Lost Toby says, is the Fanatic desperate?
Oh my gosh.
No. Well, Ralph, Ralph does pretty good here on this show, or he wouldn't be on this show. And Keon, I've been encouraging him to do this for years because, just to let him have a chance to get all his thoughts and everything out without somebody getting in the way of it. So no, nobody's desperate, Lost Toby. Nobody's desperate, probably except for a girl you're with. Hurry Harry says, slow down and smell the roses. Stop, people. Stop.
Calling it that. The one thing I absolutely will stand on is I refuse for the name of whatever show I'm running to be a pun based on my name. I just
Neon Keon Hour.
I just think it's tacky. I don't like it.
You've been hoping nobody'd say that, right? The Neon Keon Hour.
I mean, I'm so numb to that. What was this? That song Neon. All of my friends would sing that, but with my name in it because they knew it bothered me.
I don't know, but now I'm gonna look it up.
Good to know.
I mean, it doesn't bother
Ralph,
me now.
It
It bothered me when I was in college because it was just like, guys, please stop.
Hefty Lefty says Jeffrey is getting a little thorny with all these names. All right, whatever Keon says it is. We're not doing this anymore. Klostovi says your mom's not desperate.
Trebek.
All right, Sean Connery.
Gordon Fisherman says, "Hi, Jeffrey. I've missed a show, for a few weeks. What have I missed? Did Randy finally get fired? Keon and Ralph have their own shows. What the heck is going on?" Well, no, Randy's not fired. He just had a birthday week, and Ralph has his own show already, and Keon is starting up his new show this coming Saturday.
Randy turned his birthday day off into an entire week.
He tends to do that.
Big day.
So I don't even get upset about it anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's stop talking about. It was supposed to just be the beginning of the segment, and then it was the entire damn segment.
Yeah.
So when we come back, let's get back on track so we don't end up with another cluster bleep like happened yesterday. It's a Daily Blender here on. Oh, wait, one more thing. Fourth caller, 888-368-1580 gets either a pair or 4 tickets to the ASU game on Saturday versus Wazoo at 6 p.m. You can have 4 tickets in a parking pass. You can have 2 tickets in a parking pass. Use only what you need and leave something for somebody else. And then if they leave it, then we'll give that away here in a little bit too. All right. So fourth caller, 888-368-1580 for those ASU tickets on Saturday versus Wazoo. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Did you know gas goes bad in as little as 30 days? Bad gas can cause rough starts, poor performance, or no starts at all. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Whether it's your car, truck, boat, lawnmower, leaf blower, weed trimmer, ATV, motorcycle, or anything else with an engine, when you store, start with Stable.
Life is full of bright moments, but sometimes those moments can seem too far away. Trained and caring crisis specialists in Arizona can assist you with any situation, big or small. Free and confidential help is only one text away, day or night. Text the word HOPE to 4HOPE. That's HOPE to 44673. These moments matter, and so do you. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
If it's local, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
It's Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. All right, Keon, who won those ASU tickets and how many did they take?
It was Ninernapolis.
Hey, there you go, Ninernapolis.
Yeah, and he got 4.
Oh, he's taking the whole thing.
Yeah, he's got a lot of people that he works with,
And no scalping, Ninernapolis.
No, he was waffling on whether or not he should do the 2 or the 4, but he does have a lot of people that like to go. So
as long as you got the people, as long as you use the tickets, we are happy. Did he take the parking pass too?
He took the parking pass as well.
I mean, who wouldn't though?
Yeah, just I'll take the 4 tickets and I'll leave the parking pass.
Anybody want to park at ASU? You're gonna give that away. Anyway, so all right, congratulations, Ninernapolis. That makes Ralph very happy, being that you're a 49er fan.
Well, I mean, you need something to do now. It's good.
You're not going to go after the 49ers after they got that far to the Super Bowl.
It hurts to lose.
Well, you should know. You're
some of us
Seahawks
earlier
fan.
than others. Yeah.
Right. I mean, when you get to the Super Bowl and you lose, especially like that, I'm not going to beat up on them. That's not nice.
Huh.
People are still trying to name your show, Keon.
I really don't need help. I'm not taking any advice. I mean, if you are reaching out and trying, I appreciate that you care.
So you're going without interruption
with Keon Rose. Yeah,
all right.
I like that.
Should write that down somewhere. So that's it. So stop. No more.
Does that mean you can never have guests
without interruption? Well, guests won't interrupt him
because then if I have a guest, we'll just talk.
You can also turn off their microphones. Just sitting in there to
so it might be an interruption of somebody else, but not me.
McMama, that's how I always hoped it would be. McMama says, catching up with Keon. Says he'll be catching up with the Blender topics. Yeah, it's not a bad name. It's not bad.
It's not bad. No, solid.
We don't want any more suggestions though, but thank you, McMama. Caller number 3. You're kidding me. You're killing me, Keon, says Tia was.
Look, man,
you can't help it.
I don't have caller ID in here. I just have.
Well, even if you did, you're going to cheat.
I'm not going to, but I'm just saying, just so that everybody knows, there's no bias here at all. I have a phone line, and it just has lights on it. And when the lights,
that's why there's no bias. Because if we seen some of you a-holes coming through, you wouldn't win anything.
Wow.
Fact.
It's like, yeah, maybe let's just get to caller 5. No, there's just lights in there.
We would never, ever cheat a contest ever. There's laws actually against that. Lost Toby says Randy is celebrating National Margarita Day. If you mean National Whiskey Day, you might be right. Swave Dave says Ralph.
Mm-hmm. Yes. How can I help you?
That was really creepy.
You rang.
What is the name of that testosterone drug that only works during the daytime by Hormone Solar? Oh my God.
Wow. Now we're really starting to press it.
Really?
That's a
I
2-minute.
should have pre-read that.
That's a 2-minute. I don't want to hear from you for 2 minutes. That's just
it's time to start blocking people.
Oh my God.
Just another face in the crowd says so much for no wandering on this show. I know.
We do try. Honestly, we do try.
Quiet Cannon says Sports Mania this week in sports. Keon Sports Hub. Okay, we're done. Quiet Cannon. Let's use the quiet part of your name.
Wow. Appreciate it, but no help required, man.
So I do want to real quickly here say congratulations to a local kid made good. Talking about Austin Matthews scoring his 50th goal of the season. But did you have to do it against the Coyotes? Did you have to do that?
He's on a tear.
54th game of the season, and he scores his 50 and 51st goal right there, setting records and breaking records and whatever he's doing. But so as I'm torn, he's from Scottsdale, which means he's never had a break in his life. But here he is, doing great. Did you have to do it against the Coyotes? Just saying. So he's going to set some other records, right? I mean, that right there, he broke a tie as the fastest of 50 goals for United States-born players. And,
I mean, 51 goals in
like
54 games is kind of insane.
Yeah, he's on a pace right now for 76 goals this season. That's a few.
It's crazy.
That's Gretzky territory.
Yeah. I mean, you're not kidding.
I mean, if he keeps going at this rate, he's going to be in that conversation. He'll probably just clear past Ovechkin and be in that conversation to pass Gretzky.
Austin Matthews must be a natural, because who in the hell here in Arizona could have been his competition growing up? Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the hockey
he must
scene
have
is out here.
Natural talent, because it's not like he was probably tested by anybody.
I mean, there's a pretty decent club hockey scene.
Oh, I'm not saying it's horrific. I'm just saying nobody is testing this kid.
It just depends, right? I'm sure he did a lot of national traveling and stuff. So
Had to have.
I mean, and most of these the Arizona teams do. That's what they do. So I'm sure he did.
He had 2 consecutive hat tricks. Recently. I mean, this kid is just on fire, and I hate that he did that to the Coyotes, who, by the way, another loss.
To be fair, you score 51 goals in 54 games. He did that to everybody.
Yeah,
I mean that not just Phoenix. He was doing that to every single team he came across.
That's fine. Just don't break records here. Could you
not?
Could you just not?
And you of all people know.
Yeah, I know. So, by the way, this was, I don't know, maybe it's just too much pressure. You remember we were talking about this the other day. Charlie Woods, Tiger Woods' kid, he's supposed to be really good at golf. And they're like, hey, look at them. They stand the same way. They swing the club the same way. And, well, here he comes. He's ready to try to, get into that Cognizant Classic, and he shows up there and he stinks. Poor kid. Now, here's the thing. I don't think he stinks. I think he stank that day, shot 16 over par.
Wow.
Over 86 at this pre-qualifier.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad golfer. I think the pressure might have gotten to him a bit because we've
15
seen him
years old.
We've seen him do better.
Yeah.
And so listen, even if he's not as good as his dad, man,
he's pretty good.
Pretty good.
He's driving 320 yards. He's 15.
Yeah. I mean, at 15, he tried to qualify, but it's not like 15-year-olds qualify for that tournament all the time. You're already on a list of highly gifted people if you're even thinking about doing that.
You got to wonder when he does those pro-am tournaments like what he did with his dad and all the guys are doing with their kids, if maybe he gets a little cocky coming out of that going,
maybe,
and then he gets into an event like that and he's thinking I'm the stuff.
He's looking around at real golfers now and it might have just been too much pressure. And then also the added pressure of being Tiger's kid.
Yeah, true.
But so Charlie Woods, not great there, but who knows what happens in the future with him. Listen, Charlie Woods may not be a great golfer. Bronny might not end up being a great basketball player, not as good as his dad. You just never know what's going to happen. And just because they have the same last name and they happen to be related, it doesn't, I'll tell you what, I think it's harder. It's harder because all the expectations, all the pressure, Charlie Woods is looking around. That's my dad is watching. And, of course, his dad is telling him everything. His dad is in his head, like hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you know how to do this. Why'd you let your arm down? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? And so that's pressure. And then the world, the second coming of Tiger Woods. I was excited about it. I was like, let's see how this kid does. This would be great if we get another Tiger Woods, right? Well, it's not probably fair to Charlie.
No, it's not. It's the same thing with like all of these athletes' kids. Like people are talking about Bronny James, for instance, and that he's really good, but he's not like NBA ready yet. That's fine. You don't get 2 LeBrons. That's just
he's not his dad.
You don't get 2 Jordans. Like none of Jordan's kids were ever any good at basketball, but it doesn't matter because that's a lot to expect out of a person to be that great ever. If Charlie Woods is just pretty good, that's better than most. It's better than most.
Baker's Cocky Hen says maybe Charlie caught Tiger's flu bug. Oh, I didn't know he had the flu. Did he have the flu? Right. Rico Suave says, is Marvin Harrison Jr. as good as his dad?
He might be better.
There's word on the word on the street is, and you're getting to actually see it in action in college that, what Ralph said may even be better, but we'll see. But I'll tell you what, there's always for these kids pressure, and the added pressure ain't going to help. Just another face in the crowd says, if Austin Matthews gets that 76 goals this season, do we refer to him as the next great one? Maybe something else.
Might have to run
give
that
him a new name.
Gretzky. Yeah, maybe give him his own nickname.
Yeah, doesn't have to be the great one. Maybe it could be the pretty goodest. I don't know.
Pretty goodest.
Lost Toby says, man, it's a good day if I ever shoot over 16 or 16 over. Yeah, most of the people listening are like in the hundreds. Don't lie, you sons of bitches. Killer Rabbit says, Thank goodness Keon's name isn't Johnson. What? What's wrong with Keon Johnson? Doesn't make any sense.
I'm guessing because of all the puns that people would make.
Oh,
about
the Johnson.
Yeah.
He says, so the kid's name is Charlie Woods. Seriously, that's his name? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Well, no one thought about that until you just now. So
No, I thought about it. I was just being kind.
being kind.
See how fast I was able to do that, though? Moist One says, is LaMelo as good as LeVar Ball? Probably not.
LaMelo is better than his dad.
Oh, no, you got to talk to his dad. He disagrees.
I mean, if you ask his dad, though, his dad thinks he's better than Jordan. So
yeah,
that guy's delusional.
Gordon Fisherman says, Charlie Woods took a 12 on a par 4. Shot 86 overall. So, yeah, let's pump the brakes on comparing him to the Tiger Woods. Oh, I'm not doing it. Everyone else is doing it, and thus the pressure. So, hopefully he continues to like golf. Quiet Cannon says, P. Jack Nicklaus had 2 sons that tried to make it as PGA pros. Neither did very well. Yeah, it happens, man.
Golf's hard.
It happens. Swave Dave says, sorry about that one, Ralph. I don't remember what it is. I don't either. If it was funny, I'll tell you after the break. If it wasn't, we'll just move on. All right, guys. Hour 3 is up next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here's Collins ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and in, and he's fouled. Holy moly!
Join the action at Desert Financial Arena and catch Sun Devil men's basketball as the Devils take on Washington Thursday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. and Washington State Saturday, February 24th at 6 p.m. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball. Onward to victory.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Start learning a language today at Babbel.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2,
What?
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. His weekend birthday bender continues. Word on the street is he might be back tomorrow. Yeah, who knows? We got Ralph from Harmon Solar with us. We got Keon Rhodes in the control room, and we got you guys on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I'm probably not going to read most of your guys' show name suggestions for Keon. I don't know why you guys didn't do that to Ralph. Ralph already had a name, and did I help you with that name, or you already had that name?
No, we had that.
I just said that's the one. That
was Neil's name. Neil picked it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Somebody smart came up with that. Anyway, so and I thought, well, Keon Rose show is good, and then I had an idea today. We said, well, how about without interruption? Alluding to the fact that he always gets interrupted on this show. So now he has his own time, his own place, his own space to let his thoughts go from his brain to his mouth without anybody getting in the way. You're going to miss me.
I'll still be here Monday to Friday.
He will not miss me.
Getting interrupted as a reminder of
why
I have my own show.
So you are going to read text here and there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna sprinkle it in, and
just keep in mind, it can be a scary place. This text line.
Yeah. I've had to roll with the text line a couple of times, and it has been.
You know that.
Yeah, it's been rough sometimes, and it's been good sometimes. Yeah.
What the hell are you doing, Ralph?
Just looking for something.
Is this the time to start tidying up? I mean, we're trying to do a show. In fact, that somebody has something to say about you right now.
Okay.
Against the Spread says, I would like to comment on what Ralph said about the Suns being a mediocre team earlier.
Next.
Vegas has the Suns as the 5th shortest odds to win the NBA championship. So the odds makers in Vegas think the Suns are a top flight squad. If Ralph wants to speak about mediocrity, maybe he should just tell us more about his radio show on Saturday.
Wow. That's not
against the spread. Against the spread went scorched earth. That's
wow. That was.
I did pre-read that, and I thought he said maybe he should tell us more about it on his show. That I didn't realize. Anyway, Slim Pickens Hat says, "Hey, when does Randy get his own show?" Well, Randy had his own show, and then he just realized show about racing, more time to drink. Show about racing. More time to drink. And I think you now know why he made the correct decision. Hefty Lefty says Austin Matthews should go by AM/PM because Austin Matthews, point machine. That ain't bad.
It's not bad at all.
As far as nicknames go, that'd be an in the clubhouse nickname. I don't know if that is going to take in the media to call him AM/PM. But it's not bad, Hefty. I got to be honest. He says, by the way, I volunteer as a guest for your show, Keon. We can talk about the golden era of Wizards basketball. Antoine Jameson, Larry Hughes, Andre Blatche.
Andre Blatch.
Whatever. Chucky Atkins.
Don't worry about it.
They all need some radio love.
First off, Andre Blatch doesn't really. Secondly, as much as I would like to do that, the show is based in Phoenix and not Washington, D.C. So, as much as a stroll down memory lane of when I actually liked watching basketball would be nice. No, no, thank you. I think we're all good. We're gonna get into the weeds on some stuff. We're gonna talk a little Cardinals free agency. Why are coaches leaving? College programs in mass.
Wait, you're already planning a show this far out?
This far out.
What do you mean? It's
Ralph does the same thing. It's weird. You guys plan your shows?
And you can tell the difference.
Who does that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, what other thing?
Well, those are the two big ones, and then I'm going to try and experiment with letting the text line weigh in on some of that.
Okay.
In the third, we'll see how that goes.
Tia says, "How about the Keon Rosa de Guadalupe show?" Okay, we're not doing this anymore. And he says, "Well, we didn't help with Ralph's show because Ralph sucks."
Wow.
Come on, guys, take it easy. Baker's cocky hen says,
Have
so
fun, Keon.
Keon's gonna have like a WNBA show or what? Yeah.
Wow.
No. Because I would like to talk about what I think the audience is going to like to talk about, and you all have spoken. It ain't the WNBA. No, that's just for me personally watching. That's not.
Am I the only person who just had in their head? Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Remember that song, Ralph? That was like a hip hop song from
I do remember that song.
the
It wasn't-
80s.
Wasn't in my head.
I know it sounds like I just made that up, but no, that, I don't know if you've heard
I
it
was
or
like,
not.
where?
No, that's a real song.
Okay.
Let's talk about sex, baby. We're not gonna. By the way, Moist One. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing.
Just
that.
a warning right off the bat.
Pineapple Express says it sounded like you wanted to say something, Mr. O'Brien, going to break. And then you said, "Oh wait, it was cut out." That's funny. That's my fault. Keon did not make a mistake. That was on me. I had too much of a pause there. Keon has always been very good about not cutting my mic off. When we go out like that. So what did I say? I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember either.
We couldn't hear it.
Dude, that was like 10 minutes ago.
On this show, that's a lifetime. I can't remember what happened 10 minutes ago either.
Moist One says Austin Matthews' nickname is Poppy. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's no. Lost Toby says actually Ralph's show is the WNBA of the Fanatic.
Wow.
Unnecessary.
Block.
All right, we're not.
Ralph is like, I'll never
You're
read
not
your
allowed to
text.
just sit here and block people.
If I could, you'd have no listeners.
Well, there is now a button you can. So,
good to know.
But you're not allowed to do that.
I will be on that.
Ralph can have his own block list where he's just, you keep write down the names of people whose text you will never read.
Did you block Pierre? Because I haven't heard Pierre in a long time.
Oh, Pierre's here.
Yeah,
Pierre
no.
actually, he's got one waiting in the queue, as they say in England.
He was on yesterday too. Yeah.
Yeah. Pierre finds his way on here almost every day. Let's see here. Let me scroll. We had a lot of text floating around, and I keep deleting the dumb ones. So then other ones get pushed down. Pierre's isn't dumb one. I'm just saying the other ones have moved him. So let's go ahead and see what Pierre has to say today. Hello, Pierre. How are you? He says, hello, gentlemen. So now Ralph has his own show. Keon has his own show. Well, Mr. Wyatt have his own show. Well, I already told you. He had a show, and then he decided he's just going to do this show. So any stories he wants to tell you, Pierre, he'll tell you here eventually. Nondescript says, no listeners. Sounds like Ralph has found his perfect audience. Amaya D says, Salt and Peppa. Oh, it was Salt and Peppa that did. Let's talk about sex, baby. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but we should play it.
The only thing because I don't think I've really ever listened to Salt and Pepper, but I remember they were on SNL one time, and Patrick Stewart was hosting, and he goes,
Salt and Pepper,
ladies and gentlemen, Salt and Pepper. Yeah, so it was just
Salt and Pepper. He really stretched that out too. Ladies and gentlemen, Salt and Pepper. How many lights are there? Okay. That's for the nerds. Anyway, Baker's cocky hen says, people just hate LA, Ralph. You can't win with them. And Swave Dave came back and said, I'm sorry, Ralph. He really likes Ralph. It's just fun to bash on him there. So he says, Ralph Keon, congratulations on your new shows. All right. Well, can we just stop? We don't have much of this show left. Coming up at like 5:45, GCU is going to take over the broadcast so they can go ahead and whoop whoever's ass is coming. Who's coming again?
They're at Tarleton State.
Tarleton State. That's right. So let's get back to these random. We're never going to get to the NFL today. So let's get back to the random bunch of stuff we've got. So my kids in high school, two of them, they're both in track and field. They're both in the track and field. I'm not sure exactly what events my daughter is in this year. Last year, she ran a couple of different heats, but I think this year she's taking it more seriously. My son does everything. I don't think he does the pole vault, but he does do the long jump. And so, I've gone and watched. One of the things I've noticed is the faults. People fault a lot. If you don't run and just hit it just right, then you get fault. Then whatever you just jumped doesn't count. And I saw him do some majestic. This kid has ups. He can jump like nobody's business. And I saw him do some great jumps, but he was just a little bit toe over the line. So it's like, So, and you got to go back and do it again, or you just don't get a chance to do it again, depending on, what the nature is of the event. So, this actually hits home for me. But Carl Lewis, well, he's got some stuff to say about what's going on with the Olympics. Now, the Olympics, they are looking at making some changes to the long jump and how that works with the faults. And what they're trying to do here, this is, who's the committee for not the Olympics, but for track and field stuff. Track and field guys. Okay. Track and field guys, what they want to do is say, listen, here's what happens. The athletes stepping over the front of the takeoff board. Well, then now it's just a big waste of time because everybody fault. There's a lot of faulting. And, that means that every single jump, then somebody's got to run. It takes up time. And then there's people who that kind of sucks. So then what they're doing is they're saying, how about instead you have a takeoff zone where you don't have to be on the takeoff line. You can be a little bit behind it, or as long as you're touching it. And then what they do is they measure your jump from takeoff. So if you were running up there and you take off from behind the line, they measure it from the point your feet leave the ground instead of the takeoff bar. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that if you want to do that from behind the line, okay. But if wherever that zone is, there has to be a scratch area. You know what I mean? But Carl Lewis, here's what he says. He says, you're supposed to wait until April 1st for April Fool's jokes, right? That is how he feels about that. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Does it? I don't think it really matters. If you're jumping, let's say 6 inches behind the line and they measure from that point, I'm okay with that. Or is that just too snowflakey and it should always be from the goal line?
It's going to be too inaccurate. How are you going to get an exact measurement from where they take off? Number one,
lasers.
Yeah, there's all sorts of technology you can use to get the measurements to be accurate, but you can never compare a new jumper to somebody who had to do it back in the day.
Yeah,
because they didn't have the benefit of being able to be measured from wherever they took off.
Right.
And they're doing this from what I was reading with Carl. They're doing this because they want the distances to be longer again. And Carl is saying the reason why the distances are shorter is because the athletes aren't as disciplined as they used to be.
That's what he says. He says the long jump is the most difficult event in track and field. They would eliminate the most difficult skill from the event. Just make the basket larger for free throws, because people miss them. It's a good point. I don't mind wherever you jump from behind the line, you get the distance just because it's accurate. You jump that far.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have a spot where you have to hit and jump from, all right, well, he's right. That's part of it. Yeah. And so just don't change it.
It's accurate. But what he's saying is the distance from that line to where you landed is what the sport is. And if you measure from wherever somebody takes off, it's just a different game. Like you can do it and you can enjoy it and people can like it, but it's no longer the same sport. And according to him, and I believe him because the guy's been incredibly successful at it, it's not as difficult to do because now you don't have to worry about it, where getting that timing down and knowing how long your strides have to be and where your foot has to land so that you're right at that line when you jump.
He made a great point. Yeah. He said every person who has ever jumped over 29 feet is still alive. Maybe you should start asking them how they did it and stop trying to do everything else.
And I think
can't argue.
And I think that there's a little bit of when I was reading some of the stuff that they were saying, it sounded like Rob Manfred all over again, like a bunch of people who don't have this deep connection to the game, that don't really seem to have a passion for it the way that those who have been able to successfully do the long jump at a very high level in the past. And so they're just thinking, how do we get the numbers bigger? Because that means people will watch.
Yeah. As a father, I like that my son gets this. Sorry, kid. when he doesn't do it right. It's a consequence of the action, and the action is not, going by your training and hitting your toe where it was supposed to go and making your jump.
Society wants to make everything easier today. Everything.
And I don't think it's like for like in a lot of cases, it's about coddling people. For this, I just think that they want the spectacle, they want the eyeballs on it, and they don't have the athletes for it right now. So they're trying to change the rules to make it easier. And I think that's a terrible idea.
Coddling or, just corrupting. Either way, it's a bad idea. 888-368-1580 against the spread says Carl Lewis should get back to what he does well. Singing the national anthem there. Pink Eye says, I would say
make up for it now.
Bobsled is the toughest and scariest Olympic sport. But we're not talking about the Olympics, Pink Eye. We're talking about track and field type stuff, stuff that you do if you're, into track and field, all the way since back when you were in junior high. And the long jump is the cheapest, easiest sport you can possibly do. You just run and you jump. And if you've practiced long enough, I think you can figure out how to not fault. Everybody's going to, but at least not all the time.
Or like, you were talking about the faults with the tennis. There are times where people will use that first serve to just hit the bejesus out of the ball to see if they can hit it, get a nice shot that'll go past their opponent. Sometimes if you really want to gun for it and you're not really going to focus too much on where the line is, but you're just going to get your longest jump, you can factor in the fact that you're going to fault and try your hardest and see what you get. This takes that away.
Quiet Gannon says the new long jump record should have an asterisk by them. Well, they're not doing it yet. They're going to test out this idea, but I feel like everyone's going to universally hate it. I don't think you're in any sort of, I don't think you're in any kind of jeopardy of that. Scratch Me Because says my favorite track and field event is the javelin catch. Okay, now first off, that's how people get up dead. So let's go ahead and talk about something else because we are really running out of time here. This was like a good news, bad news kind of thing. Anybody who ever played the old college football video game, people talk about it like, oh, that was the best days. That was awesome. Oh, yeah, the NCAA college football game. And everybody's like, and then they couldn't do it anymore. They weren't allowed to do it. And then now with the NIL rights, now they can. Now, EA Sports has said, okay, there's 11,000 college football players out there. So we're going to pay you for your name and likeness and image. Everybody gets $600. Now, some people who say no to $600 that we know we need, we will negotiate with them. But the rest of you scrubs are getting $600 and free game. We'll give you the game too. All right. So for a lot of those kids, I say, all right, it's not bad for a bunch of kids who are not stars, but for the starters and the people who are on good teams, feel like they're kind of just coming at you cheap right now. Feel like they're coming at you cheap.
A little bit because, if you're, let's say like a Caleb Williams, and that someone is buying that game so they can play as Caleb Williams, $600 doesn't quite cut it because that's a lot of people.
Yeah, everybody is coming at EA on this saying, oh, you're being cheap. All these kids should get more. No, not every kid should get more. Not every kid is good. Not every kid who plays in college is worthy of the NFL type money that you get for being in one of these video games. But so I think EA Sports was genius. They're taking $6.6 million and they're throwing it out there. And everybody at the lower levels is just going to take it because they know I can't negotiate this. And then the people who are higher up who say, I'm not doing that. Then they come to the table and they talk. So this $6.6 million is probably going to turn into something more like $20-30 million that they're going to pay. And they can pay for it because they're a bazillion-dollar company, billions of dollars. So I'm not mad at EA Sports.
I just wonder because they've got Kirk
you don't
Herbstreit.
Start the negotiation high is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And we'll see if like they plan on sticking to that or if like if there's an actual debate that's going to open up here. But they've got Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit doing the play-by-play for the game. Are they getting $600 and a copy of the game?
Kirk Herbstreit is getting paid for sure.
Yeah, because I don't think Kirk Herbstreit gets out of his bed for like less than $1 million. It just doesn't seem like
I don't think this is going to work. I think it's this is a disaster.
Why is that?
I just don't think you're going to be able to do this because I think these kids nowadays and what they're making is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I just think when they go to sit down and negotiate, EA Sports is going to be like, we can't do that.
You know what happens is everybody who's nobody still only gets $600,
and they're all for
everybody
that.
else will get into the $17,000 to $28,000 range because that's what some of the lower level guys in Madden get on the NFL stuff. So, somebody is going to get paid, but not everybody's going to get paid. But everybody's going to at least get a copy of the game and $600. So
I think you're going to see that you're going to play this game, and there's going to be some jerseys that have no name on them or no likeness.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
That will absolutely happen. But I think most of these guys, they're going to make a deal of some sort.
The lower level guys, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the upper level guys too. They're not going to make a $600 deal, Ralph. They're going to make a $60,000 deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Or something.
But the top end guys, I think you won't see them on these games.
Pink Eye says, what about the coaches and the assistant coaches?
Yeah,
I would imagine anybody, cheerleaders and mascots, no, they just use a template for that. But as far as the coaches and just the main coach, maybe. No one else on there is going to be. Nobody cares about assistant coaches. Baker's Cocky Hen says, ball game. No, really. When we got history and cram into this next one. It's always this one.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets is the betting favorite to win this year's MVP award, which would be his third. He is minus 120. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder is plus 210. Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks plus 700 to win the MVP. Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo is plus 1,000. As far as NBA Rookie of the Year, that is Victor Wembanyama's to lose at minus 600. Chet Holmgren of the Oklahoma City Thunder plus 500. Those are the two best bets. Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets plus 15,000 to win Rookie of the Year. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at afw.com. afw.com.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Here's Collins ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and in, and he's fouled. Holy moly.
Join the action at Desert Financial Arena and catch Sun Devil men's basketball as the Devils take on Washington Thursday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. and Washington State Saturday, February 24th at 6 p.m. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball. Onward to victory.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Looks like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns to backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Against the Spread says, great idea by EA Sports. Think about some backup O lineman at Central Michigan. He gets $600 and subs himself into the video game. Finally gets to play in an actual game. Yeah. And listen, some of the guys would be happy to have the $600 and the game. They're like, all right, I can buy a console and I got the game. And then I got some money for some tacos. Good to go. Good to go. Some of those guys are going to be okay with that. It's going to be the upper level ones who aren't.
But you know how you can create a player? Can we create players and get paid $600?
I don't think so. No.
Why not?
We create one.
We create one of our own likenesses and put them on there. We should get $600.
Well, because they didn't.
It doesn't matter. There should be that rule.
It does.
I feel like that's not a winning financial idea for EA
for us.
Because you chose to put the player in the game.
Right, but now he's in there, so I need to get paid for it.
Isn't that their slogan? You're in the game.
Right. I want to get paid.
Okay. You work that out.
Who do we call? I want in on this. On the off chance,
I don't see how that makes any sense at all.
We create the player, we put him in there, we take pictures of the screen, and we send him to EA headquarters and say, "You're using our name and likeness in this game, and I want to be paid."
EA is not responsible for you having that player.
I didn't read that part.
Well,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
it'll be in the small print.
I'm fairly certain they have to directly do that because that's what the lawsuit was about. Was they were taking people's name, image, and likeness, and they created the player.
Like I'd want to create Randy on the sidelines as the coach with a whiskey in one hand and a cigar in the other and the headphones
on. I mean, that would be fun. But
I just want to get paid. Somebody just needs to give me $600.
But they didn't cause that to happen. You did.
Still. I'm gonna get paid.
Killer Rabbit says, according to the Olympic Committee, everybody gets a participation ribbon, right? Is that what you're trying to do? Sort of. Just nobody ever faults again.
Eventually.
Kiss the Cook says, before the ink dries on my contract, debuting my new cooking show on The Fanatic, Kiss the Cook's International Cuisine. There is no contract, and that would never, ever happen. That would never happen. Swave Dave says $600 in a video game, plus you have to pay taxes on it. I don't know if you have to pay taxes. Oh, do you on the NIL? Does they have
$600?
No, but on the video game, if they give you a 60, I'm going to guess $60. If they give you something that's worth $60, do you have to pay taxes on that?
I mean,
I think you might.
Gift tax, right? It's a value. It has a value to it.
No, or it's just one of those things where you don't have to pay a tax for anything under a certain threshold.
Because I know that they've given out, at all the bowl games, for the one that Sony did, they gave everybody like a PlayStation and some games and all that stuff. I don't think guys had to pay taxes on that. So
it might, because I guarantee you that's a write-off for those companies when they give those things away. And it's funny how they're using $600 as the number because that's the number where you have to pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
smart.
Wow, they couldn't just do these guys a solid and be like, how about $5.99?
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
So you could get this tax free. Unbelievable.
Well, I think it's over $600. So I think you're good at 600.
At 600.
I don't think you are. I think it's 600 or more.
Really? So
Yeah.
that is kind of a jerk move, isn't it? Anyway, hey, how about this? Now, we just got used to the idea that the college football playoff is going to be a 12-team thing, right? And they're like, all right, here's what we're doing, 12 teams. So you got 5 and then 7. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do 5 in and then 7 and all that. So, okay, here we go. And everybody's like, okay, thanks. And now college football playoff officials are saying, okay, so now hear us out. How about 14 team playoff in 2026, huh? You can tell them go away. Guess what they're not going to do?
Yeah, they're not going to go away.
They're not going to go away.
They are going to ruin this entire thing with greed.
So 14 team playoff.
Why?
Here's what happens. The highest ranked conference champions end up with a bye. And then that incentivizes the league title games. And then there'd be the format would play out like a 12-team playoff after that, kind of what we're doing this season. So that is what they're saying. I don't know. I don't know why you have a problem with it.
Because look, if you're the 14th team in, you're not winning a title. That's why. What are we doing? We're supposed to be watching the best teams. That's what college football is about.
No, it's not. It's about making money.
No,
I mean, it's true. It is now, and as more money has flooded in. But I'm saying in terms of if you actually like the sport, that's what you're watching for. This is. We're just trying to turn it into the NFL. We've got a giant one and done tournament that everybody likes that's going to end in the Super Bowl. And I promise you this thing is going to collapse on itself because nobody's going to watch this thing at the level that the Super Bowl is.
Well,
it's already become the NFL, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've already got free agency in college now. So, I mean, that's
Transfer
technically what
portal.
the transfer portal
I mean,
is.
you got the transfer portal, but
And the it's all free agency.
You still get one transfer, well, for now anyway, one free transfer, and then you're basically stuck where you're stuck. So, look, man, it is going in a way where I'm not a fan of where it was headed, but you always had that national championship. You knew you were watching the two best teams that were playing that year. What we're doing here is, if you have a giant one and done tournament, we see it in the NCAA tournament every year. It's great. It's fun. Best team doesn't always win it. Why would I want that for my football? I don't get it. I don't get it.
He's very passionate about this because he loves the college football and the college basketball. But
since I was a kid,
it starts to feel like the same idea of what they do with college basketball. And then when we talk about that, where there's an underdog who takes out number one, I love it. I think it's great because everybody's got a chance and it makes it more interesting. Now, dyed-in-the-wool hardcore fans are going to say, oh, great, now we're not going to see the best matchup we could possibly see.
Right.
And that's kind of where you're coming from here. So aren't you kind of snobbing out on the football the same way people snob out on the basketball?
Well, not really, because I think with the basketball, the whole point of the season is building up to that tournament. So the tournament has all the games that everybody sees. You know, you might love the upsets. How many regular season games have you watched?
Me?
Yeah.
This year?
Yeah.
None.
Okay. Like, why? But not because
they don't matter.
Because
actually, no, I have like one.
The tournament's what counts.
Right.
Like, so in football, when the season is shorter, the stakes of all of these games are
I watched
higher.
the GCU game too, so like two or
Okay,
three.
so like two,
maybe four.
Okay, yeah, I mean it, but more people tune in for the NCAA tournament than they do for the season in college football.
Does listening count? I've listened to a lot of GCU games.
Yeah, listening counts.
All right,
listening counts.
Well, I'm an expert now.
But you're talking about what we have been going with college football is that all of these games, your playoff games, are the big matchups you play throughout the year. Those games don't matter as much now because you could lose 3 of them and still be in a playoff.
Big George says, come on, Keon. It's very well possible that a 14 could make it to the national championship game. We have seen it happen in college basketball. Remember San Diego State last year going to the championship game? More teams, better in my book, says George.
I want to see the best teams in the championship. That's one. And 2, I don't want to see some team that lost 5 games.
Did the best teams in the NFL get in this year?
No.
To the Super Bowl?
No,
He's like,
which-
you made my point.
Which best team, Ralph?
The Ravens, I think, should have been there. They were the best team in the AFC.
They did blow it in the playoffs.
They got tight, and that's the thing.
You won't always just see a best team in a championship, no matter
in fact,
what.
when in most NFL seasons, I would make the strong argument that the best game you watch all year isn't the Super Bowl. It's the one that's got all the hype and everybody shows up
Agreed.
to watch it. But sometimes it's a divisional round game. Sometimes
Agreed.
it's a random week 9 game between 2 teams nobody really cares about, but it was a great game.
Wilbur says, wow, who did that nasty thing in Keon's Cheerios? But he's right.
I think you need to get. I think you need to get ready for. They're going to go to 14. I think you need to get ready for one day when there's the top 25 means you make the playoffs. If you're in the top 25, that's how we look at football, right? It's a top 25. I think eventually you'll see a top 25 that are in the playoffs, and the more playoff games they can play, the more money they make. That's how bowls evolved from, 6-8 bowls to 5 million bowls that we have now that make no sense with teams that suck are in them.
Bowls.
You're going to
Like
see
the bowl
that.
It sounded like you said bowls. I'm like, is this something to do with breeding bowls?
No.
Bowl
games.
Not just me, right? I heard, he said bowls.
I heard him say bowls.
You did say bowls?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man, I think I need a nap.
But I think that's where you're headed. I think there's no way around it because it's all about the money. That's all it's about.
Tia says, got to prove it on the field, Keon. If they're the best team, they should win the playoff.
The season should be the thing that shows that you prove that. If you lost 4 games throughout the year, that was you proving you're not the best team.
We have to do this real fast because I don't want to run out of time. Michael Potter gets really angry if we're not on time with it.
That's fair.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1972, the Los Angeles Lakers center, Wilt Chamberlain, became the first player in NBA history to reach 30,000 career points. Chamberlain stood 7 feet 1 inch and is regarded as one of the most extraordinary and dominant basketball players and poonhounds of all history in the NBA. Back to me, Jeffrey.
Wow.
I don't know why that was in there.
I know you added that.
Probably not. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't want to do that about Lakers, but
Why?
you got to give Wilt Chamberlain props on that.
He was the Shaq of the 70s.
Yeah, Shaq is the right word. 888-368-1580. So, all right, we only have a short time left here. But before we go, the last random thing, we didn't get into any NFL stuff. Some people are like, good, because there's more sports in life than just the NFL. And then the rest of us are unhappy. But that's okay. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. But I do want to mention this. This is, I don't know how I feel about it. And I just want to run this by you. There's a guy named Anton Newtonboom. It's real name. And he's raising awareness for men's mental health. And he's doing that by walking barefoot across the United States, LA to New York, with no shoes, no socks.
Wow.
He left Santa Monica on Saturday. It's in California, Ralph. And he calls himself the Barefoot Dutchman. And he's done this before, not across the country. I don't know why, but he became the first person to make it to Mount Everest Base Camp barefoot.
Wow.
I'm just going to say this right now.
That's crazy.
The fact that his cause is mental health. I mean, I didn't need to know that was going to be his cause if he's walking barefoot across the United States. Why? How does that help? Just
his thing, right?
Does that? I'm glad
I guess we're talking about it.
Right.
Men's mental health is something that really should be, addressed. But does that get you guys like, he's barefoot? Let me write a check.
No, I think he's nuts.
I think he needs some mental health help.
I don't even think he's doing it to raise money. He just said awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many easier ways to do that.
We're aware he's nuts.
I think we're all aware that that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
If you're
Mount Everest Base Camp is a bad idea.
He's lucky he has any toes at all.
Right. Exactly.
I wonder if he's just charted a path. Is there pavement on this path?
Good Lou. I hope so.
Because
man, I don't know. Is this guy a hero?
I don't know if he's going to make it. That's what I'm trying. I don't want to say that, but
all right. So hero or 72-hour hold? That's, I guess, where I'm at with this.
72-hour hold.
72-hour hold. I mean, I guess he wanted to raise awareness. We are talking about it, but we're spending more time talking about him and whether or not he's okay.
We would feel better about your mental health if you just didn't. Maybe something else.
I don't know, man. Like do a TED talk. I don't, just something.
Barefoot. Pineapple Express says, is walking barefoot across the country a sport? It certainly isn't. That's the opposite of a good idea right there. That is the opposite of a good idea. Oh, it's okay, Ralph. You're just hearing the GCU guys get hooked up.
I know. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, we know. We know they're there. They're always there. They're always there. And in about 5 minutes, they're going to be here because we're going to step aside early. That's why I did the On This Date right there, because the GCU is they're playing Tarleton State. They're in Texas, which is like a whole nother country.
Oh, I can hear you. Okay.
And refereed like it's a whole nother country. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that is the downside.
That is the thing that my hang up is. The officiating going to really decide how
but
this game
as
goes.
long as it's consistent to both teams. Is GCU, as far as size, up to the challenge of a physical game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No,
as long
GCU's got some guys that are big.
As long as the refs call it fair in both directions, then all right. Let's get physical, as Olivia Newton-John said. Let's get physical. Let's get physical, GCU. Let me hear your body talk. I already regret it. I shouldn't have said any of that. I just should have not done that at all. Kiss the Cook says, hey, Ralph, lay off the gummies. Can I just say I don't want any gummies with illicit things in it, but I just love gummy worms. I do. I don't know why I don't have more gummy worms. Then they can't make you fat, right? Do they make you fat?
They're full of sugar.
They got a lot of sugar in them.
Golly.
Yeah. And it's like three gummy worms is a serving.
Why is everything I like? Oh, the bacon is bad for you. Oh, yeah, you shouldn't eat steak. Oh, playing with the electricity. Everything's bad for you. I'm just really disappointed. Oh, I shouldn't have asked. I should have kept eating these gummies and just not even care.
Not even worry about it.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, GCU, big guys. I'm not going to read the rest of your text, Baker Cocky Hen. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. Basketball context, and you know that, Baker's Cocky Hens. You know that.
Oh, well. Kiss the Coach says, walking barefoot from Santa Monica? That dude's not going to even make it through Arizona. Yeah. All right. Well, I feel better now because I think we're all in agreement. That dude is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right, Ralph, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. And Keon, just do your damn job. Coming up next is GCU versus Tarleton State. Go Lopes. Go kick that Tarleton State booty and bring us back a win and keep it going, guys. We will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.